Hello and welcome to the Codex Prime Podcast. We are on episode 120 and it is Tuesday, May 15th, 2018. I am your host, Victor Omoayo, and with me as always is my co-host and social media chair, Carl Byrd.
What's good, y'all?
Yes, and joining us, we have a very special guest in the studio. We have the stand-up comedian and the co-host of the Eff Yo Podcast.
Yes.
You know him as Lad Dennis-Lopes.
Yes. Lad Dennis-Lopes, a.k.a. Bad Lad, a.k.a. Voice of the City, and that's the end of my aliases. So.
Sure, there ain't no
That-
more.
There's plenty more. There's plenty more. There's way more. That just goes deeper into the circles that I run with. That's all. So. But thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Oh man, thanks for coming on.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. We definitely have a lot of some stuff to talk about.
Yeah,
stuff,
yep.
Stuff in the nerd culture, stuff that's been popping on memes as of late.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
It is what I had to get my slander in.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Some trailers for movies coming out, some movie related news, all that good stuff.
Very cool.
Yeah. So, Carl, as you're setting up the news feed, sharing the episode, tell us what you've been up to, man.
Not really much. I started reading the X-Men Days of Future Past comic from what, 1980?
Yeah.
Was it? So yeah, because I'm like, I've seen the movie like plenty of times. It shows up on cable now. So whenever it's just on, I'm just like,
Yep. It's one of them Saturday afternoon time swallowers.
yeah.
Yeah.
And then when I work overnights too, it's on. Yeah, I'm throwing it on. So I'm like, I always wanted to see the difference between the comic and the actual movie.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of focus on Kitty Pryde in the beginning, but I'm still in the beginning. So more of that to come in. And I revisited a classic. Funny how we have a comedian on. Eddie Murphy's Delirious.
Ah, yeah. That was his first stand-up, right?
Yeah. That was his first special, his first video. You know what I mean? First HBO.
Yep.
HBO special, and that was his first. He had an album out, Eddie Murphy Comedian, prior to that, but it was just on cassette and vinyl. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was his first feature length. You know what I mean? Not in the theaters, but HBO, which was major enough at the time because that was cable was just becoming household. There was more at that time. There was more homes without HBO than actually had HBO.
Oh, wow.
That was right around the first cable box. Prior to that, HBO had a box on the back of the TV. You had to go to channel 3 and flip a switch,
Yep.
and all you got was HBO.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
man. Yeah, man.
You took it back. The only way you could play video games was on Channel 3.
Right. Channel 3 was the hub, man, for a while. That Channel 3 was input.
Yeah.
Was the original input, you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
So yeah, 30 years later, still holds up.
Yeah.
Obviously, when he started talking about his father, talking about this is my house. Yeah, I'm in tears.
Yeah, it's someone who definitely studied under we all studied under Pryor back then. Even I wasn't thinking about being a comedian back then as a kid, but we knew who the God was at the time.
Yeah.
And it was Rich. You know what I mean?
He still holds the title like to this day.
He's my GOAT.
Yeah.
He's my GOAT because if you sit and listen to a lot of black comics from Delirious.
Yeah.
From Delirious to at least the turn of the century. You're going to hear a lot of material that may not be verbatim, but goes right back to Rich. Right back.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Be it content, be it setup, be it actual punchlines. There's a lot of something because that's before I even got in the game. I studied Rich cold, cold. My wife brought me the complete box set of his when he was signed to Warner Brothers, which is basically everything he did.
Yeah.
So I have everything. I have everything he's ever done and put out for mass production. You know what I mean? So and I've listened to it over and over. And a lot of it I had because my dad collected it. You know what I mean? And I was like most kids my age, our parents had it and we played it when our parents weren't home. And that's how I got acclimated to it. And once I got older, my father stopped listening to vinyl, and I took the vinyl. And at that time, I was pursuing a rap career, so that stuff went to my DJ's house, and he would use the lyrics and chop them up in the hooks and stuff like that. So like he's influential just from he's a cultural icon.
Right.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
not a comedic icon. He's a cultural icon.
Yeah, there's
and as
no
such,
denying about
right.
that.
So
No denying that.
So yeah, like it's not far fetched to say a lot of influence. When you hear a lot of folks, Eddie Griffin will tell you quick to tell you that. You know what I mean? His influence is heavy rich. You can tell by the way what he talks about, how he talks. You know what I mean? But definitely Michael. Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I don't think I've ever heard a comedian like say that Richard Pryor wasn't there, that they wasn't influenced by Richard Pryor.
Only one that I can say that wouldn't have to say that is Paul Mooney. I'm sure you know Paul Mooney. Now Paul Mooney used to write for Rich.
Correct.
So if you go back on some of those of old albums, you see written by Richard Pryor and Paul Mooney. You know what I mean? And I saw Paul Mooney, first time I saw Paul Mooney, I knew who he was, but I didn't see him until later. I always knew who Paul Mooney was, but then I saw him live, ironically enough, opening up for Eddie Murphy. Now this was when Raw dropped. And
Another classic.
he did a national tour before the movie dropped. He did a Raw tour.
Right.
And he came to Providence Civic Center, which is now the Dunkin' Donuts Center.
I still call it the Civic Center.
Right. Civic Center. And Mooney opened up for him and smashed. My dad brought me. I was 17. I think I had just turned 70 for my birthday. And I watched Paul Mooney and Raw before it hit the theaters.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Wow.
There was some other jokes that didn't make the cut for the movie that he did. Like, look, oh man, but it was something that again, it didn't make me want to do comedy, but it must have planted a seed.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I didn't do it until I did it when I was 20, 21.
Yeah.
I dabbled in it, and I was awful. I did okay, but looking back at it, like somebody sent me a DVD of one of the only times I performed stand up in my 20s, and they laughed, but I was watching it like that. I wanted to go back in time just so I could boo myself.
Really?
Oh yes,
that-
yep, yeah,
Wow.
yes, yep. Get off the stage, try rapping, get a jump shot, something. No, but full circle. Here we are. So.
Exactly.
But stage, I've always been drawn to the stage since my mother put me in acting classes when I was like 6 or 7, and then she stopped, and then she passed away when I was 11, and then hip hop became too. That's what I gravitated towards because I grew up in the time, the 70s. I was born in the 70s, so
Right.
up until 10 years old, we didn't have hip hop. So I definitely remember a time when it didn't exist. And then being able to jump on board at its inception, and you know what I mean? So
Yeah, I honestly wish I was like around that time because I'm young, but I'm a retired b-boy.
okay.
Yeah, so
okay,
like, so going back, and I had like a great teacher, a mentor. Shout out to the Keebler, DJ Donnie Battle now.
Salute, absolutely.
my
You had a
guy
real
right
good
there.
teacher. Absolutely.
So like, I mean, I always say like I was taught well. Like I got so many like opportunities. Like I used to compete in his spin factor competitions.
Yep.
I ended up meeting like JoJo, the founder of the Rocksteady crew, Frosty Freeze. I took a picture with him. It's
Right.
I mean,
And that's that's the part that it's tough for me to discuss hip hop in a debate format with a younger generation because it's tough because nobody understands when I say, can you imagine a time when there was something very integral, not just to your life, but to life itself, when it didn't exist, and you being able to grow through that inception and watch its growth, and you know what I mean. And that's the thing. It's that's something that those memories, living that in the moment, and then being able to retrospect all of that, it's unreal. It's unreal. Like I remember being 10 years old, and well, not 10, like around 12, going up in my early teens, and arguing with my uncles and my dad, like to the point of tears. They would say things like, "This is a fad. In 3 years, nobody's ever gonna hear this again." And like, you didn't have much of a leg to stand on because it was still in its infancy.
Right.
But you just knew in your heart, like when I go outside, when I'm with my friends, when I'm with people that I meet of my peer group, and the way we receive this thing, we don't even know what it is just yet. We're not really calling it hip hop. It just we're calling it rap, we're calling it breaking, we're calling it the elements, but we haven't got this big umbrella where we just put this stamp on it yet. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's just like, but you just gotta be there to know. You know what I mean? If you're not there, and it's just, you know what I mean? It's similar to the internet.
Yeah.
It's very similar to the internet in how it has touched the world, how it's become it predates internet whereas it became the universal language.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It really has spread out across the world, and not rap. I mean hip hop. I mean all of the elements, because all the elements are still alive everywhere else but here, because it's not the cash cow. You know what I mean? We're built on capitalism. That's why rap is considered hip hop. But I know we got other shit to talk about. So don't get me on my rant.
Nah, hey, listen. A podcast is a conversation. We just go all in.
Well, listen. If you get a chance, check out Almost Dope. Salute to Anna Gonzalez and Jeff Matthias, two Brown students, Brown alum. Right. Brown alum who fell in love with the Rhode Island hip hop scene during their matriculation at Brown, and wanted to do a documentary about the history of Rhode Island hip hop. And they, on the deficiency side, they weren't able to tell the story as thoroughly as they would have liked to.
Right.
There are integral pieces and people missing. There are integral story and as such stories and the like. But given what they had and the time restraints that they did a great job. And the name of it's called Almost Dope. And it reflects, like, I didn't understand the title at first, and then I went to the premiere and watched it. And then when I walked out, because a lot of guys are like, Almost Dope, you know, they look at it as a shot, you know what I mean, towards Rhode Island. And when you watch it, you realize it isn't about not being dope. It's about every story that's told about how they got this close to the brass ring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We got this close to being right up there with all the heavy hitters. And certain, you know, everybody tells their story about how they got this close, and some of it was jail time. Some of it was growing older and just seeing different priorities and just kind of moving forward. But everybody has their own story, and it's like Almost Dope. You know what I mean? When it dawned on me, I was like, I
need to check that. Yeah, I've been wanting to check that out.
And it's pretty cool. It's on YouTube.
Oh, is it?
So, yeah, it's on YouTube. Yep.
Heard.
But yeah. What else I've been up to? Still playing God of War.
All right.
God, I love that game.
Yeah.
Like that game is.
See, my video game days are behind me. My marriage kind of slowed that up.
That's like my dog can't stand it when I play.
But I have a 17-year-old, and he is right now. He's in the Fortnite craze. Fortnite, NBA 2K, Madden.
I'm a Madden head.
And as I had PlayStation for years, and I only bought 3 games for like 15 years. I only bought 3 games. For the most part, like on a yearly rotation.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Live Madden and
Madden,
right.
Tekken, Metal Gear, and Gran Turismo.
Oh wow.
The first 2 Gran Turismos. Loved them.
Yeah.
Love the first 2. Love the first 2. And then after that, I was just like, just kind
I
of.
didn't mind 5.
You didn't?
I didn't mind 5 at all. To me, 5 got back to the
original
essence,
form.
to the original. But I like it because to me, it is truly. I don't care what they say about all the rest. It's truly the true simulator. You know what I mean? It's the simulator, not because everybody says simulator and they just think about just the driving, the garages, what you can do with, how you build your car.
That's what made
that was
what made the series.
And I got into it oddly enough. A friend of mine was his mom used to house students from Bermuda who would come here to go to New England Tech.
Yeah.
And there was a kid that we got real close to and hung out with us, and he was all into that shit. Like, and he would we would do Turismo, and we go through the specs and soup them up, but we'd ride like NASCAR. We'd race like NASCAR. And he showed us how to race the track. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And and finesse your way and not muscle somebody out of the way and learn how to take corners and shorten your time and that kind of shit. And so once we got to that level, it was like, oh yeah. You know what I mean? I would do like, that was pre-marriage, so I would do the Tour de France.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And of course on video games, it doesn't take 24 hours, of course, but it takes, it's a third of the day. It's a third of the day easy. If you want to eat and stay hydrated, it's a third of the day. You know what I mean? And if you smoke, then it's a little longer. So it was anywhere from like 8 to 12 hours for me. You know what I mean? But
Gee, you smoke that much?
no, not that much smoking. I'm saying, yeah, man. Like it's a 24-hour race,
Right.
really in real
Yeah.
life. But it's they scale down for the video game, of course, or the track. So to do that track, yeah, you need to hit the bong.
That's pretty much all games nowadays. Like,
Yeah, right.
because I still haven't beat Horizon Zero Dawn. I'm still working. Listen, that game is long.
It is.
That game is
Like Metal Gear was my and I've always been a PlayStation head.
Yeah.
Always.
Me
I've never
too.
been and all my friends had other shit, the Cube and the Xbox stuff and all that other stuff, but I've always been PS, so I've been partial to. That's what I like about Tekken.
I love Tekken.
Love Tekken. No, what I liked about Tekken, because Tekken was one of the first combat games that countered. That counted. Oh, when you could do that, the block and the L1 at the same time and catch. Oh my! Especially if you got King or Armor King, because he got all that Lucha Libre counter shit. Oh my! Are you kidding me?
King,
For hours.
I knew how to work King, but he wasn't my favorite.
No, he was my favorite to watch. Like if somebody was good at him, I could watch him. But he wasn't the one I was best with either.
Who was your best character?
Guarang.
Well, I like him.
Because I could 10-hit combo with him.
Yeah.
He had the easiest 10-hit combos for me. You know what I mean? And he was just super quick.
Kyle's on the
Never a lot of power, but if all 10 of these are coming at you, that's cool. And 10-hit combos. If you can get a 10-hit combo off, there's a good chance you'll win it because somebody's aggravated on the other end.
Okay, Law was my guy. Law was my guy too. And Kyle Chapman says that he's the Tekken GOAT. You got my scream that you got my gamer tag though. I'll put it on. I'll Twitch stream it. I'll Twitch stream it too. Paul Phoenix, the God. Paul was cool. Paul was a cheater.
Paul
was too far. He
Paul
was too
was dope.
powerful.
Paul was dope. That was too much power for one white man to have. Like for real, I agree. But he was dope. He was another one that could counter.
He was.
You know what I mean?
Lay.
I like. Yep, Lay was dope too. Lay was
Mastered
dope.
many styles. He was like one of the hardest guys to master because
Right.
he had many styles built into one character.
Yeah, and I liked Xiao Yu from the females.
Okay.
I just like the style.
She had a dope style,
She didn't
but
have
like-
a lot of power either, but she had a dope style. She
But
couldn't
what
counter.
aggravated me with her because she was always so low.
Right, that's what I liked about
So
her.
you're like,
Right.
you had to like constantly low kick.
Right, and I knew how to.
But
I
then
knew how
they
to
knew-
roll out of that, and man, listen.
This is why you gotta get into fighting games, Vic.
I played a little bit of Tekken 7.
Yeah. Oh yeah, because I let you. 'Cause I made you play it.
Yeah. I was there from its inception, and I think the last one I got was 6.
6,
The last
7.
one I had and with the intent to play, and but since then it's just
7's dope.
you know what I got because I have two 4s. One needs to be repaired. The plug, it's kind of in.
Oh, okay.
Simple shit. I'm just lazy and ain't been nowhere to get it to send it out, whatever. And then my son got the other 4. Then I got a 3 that I actually use because my wife and I play Jeopardy on it.
Okay.
She takes the Jeopardy test and shit. Like she geeks out on the shit.
Shout out to Lisa.
Yeah, and she's like she has an app called J Interactive where you put in the categories as you watch, and you play against the folks
Really?
that what? Yeah, and you kind of gauge how well you do. Like they say to get optimum comparison, when daily double comes, you don't do the daily double. You just do it for whatever the value is.
Right.
But she's won. Like there's times where she's won by that format. Sometimes she's lost by it too. But it's just pretty wild. So like, yeah, man. And it's funny because, we do that sometimes. Like if we're at home date night.
Yeah.
We'll do Jeopardy. We'll play Jeopardy for shots. So we'll do a category. Like the rules are, you got to stay through the category and start from the bottom and go through. And then when we finish category, knock back the shots. So by the time Double Jeopardy rolls,
now is she making the shots or they just?
No, I'm making my own.
Okay.
But she knows like everything's right. You know what I mean? Like
Listen, Lisa's a friend of the family. She's our favorite bartender.
yes, she is, and she geeks out about bartending too. She is very knowledgeable about bartending. She runs a bartending business. She teaches bartending. She teaches bartending to teachers who want to teach bartending.
Oh wow.
Really?
Yeah, so she can get you certified as a bartender. She can get you certified as a teacher to teach bartending. So you know what I mean, and all the like. So she just
And a quick side note, Kyle said, because he accepted my Tekken challenge, but then he goes, actually, no bet. God of War is crack. It won't let me beat the addiction.
Right. And listen, I'll tell you what, and I only seen trailers. I can see why.
Yeah.
Like God of War, it seems like every year, because while I can't get to this stuff like I'd like to, I try to stay up as much as possible. Like when E3 comes on Spike, I'm glued to it, and just so I can just be able to just touch a little bit, you know what I mean? And every year when they show that God of War trailer, I'm like, how the hell do they? And it's like better. It's not like
The game is like,
whoa.
there's no like cinema breaks.
Right.
It's, everything's just straight. It's just one. It's like one long take.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah. You play that game, you will refer to you. If you play that game, you will from now on refer to your son as simply boy. That's how he talks to his son because you're on a quest with your son.
Right.
So whenever he'll say his name Atreus like every once in a while, but he's like, boy, read this.
So now here's my question to you guys: is this a precursor to like the torch kind of being passed to the son, and now he's going to carry on the God of War? Is there any?
I haven't finished it yet, so I'm like, I have a feel. It looks like it from where I'm at. He's already finished. He finishes games in like 4 days.
Got you. Yeah. Once you go in, you kind of just tunnel vision until you see it through.
Yeah.
Got you. That's cool.
Yeah, I finished the whole game, and man, like I won't say anything about the ending, of course, but
Please don't.
but like it raises some interesting questions. I can't wait to see what they do for future installments.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, there's like so many directions that they can go, and like the way it ends too is like because it's like the way that the game is structured, you can actually go off and do other side quests that you haven't done like during the main storyline.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's like a lot to do.
Okay, you're right. Okay, so you just did the main storyline. You didn't do those fringe things, or you did it all.
I did most of the side quests.
Yeah.
There's a few more that I haven't done that I just kind of put off to the side.
Right.
I try not to, and then I just end up falling into some.
Yeah, because you're already there, and you're like you're down the rabbit hole.
Yep.
Okay.
That's why it's so huge. It's a free
Gotcha, it's a
game,
free
and then
game, yeah.
like they just get, and they're still constantly like just adding stuff, and like tons of people are playing it, like tons. Like Thanos is in the game now.
Come on.
Thanos is in the game,
Yeah, I saw.
and they're
that.
like saying like he's legit hard to beat.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man. So
So and
anything else?
no, I'm good.
Okay.
I mean, what you been up to?
Oh man. For me, well, besides God of War, which I finished, I've been going back to the well, playing some old school PS2 games.
Nice.
Yeah. So I've been looking for some like hidden gems.
Yeah.
And one game that I actually played and managed to finish was this underrated game called Second Sight. It's a really cool game. It's like this science sci-fi game. It's about this guy named John Vadik, who's like this he's like a skeptic. He kind of he deals with like debunking paranormal activities, like psychics and whatnot. And he's recruited by this top secret military group called Winter Ice, and they're traveling to Russia, and they're trying to figure out find the whereabouts of this Russian scientist who's been experimenting on kids to like unlock their psychic and psychokinetic potential and all this.
Okay. Yeah.
And throughout the game, it flashes back to the past, like during that mission, and to the present day, where John Vadik, like he wakes up with no memory of who he is, but he just knows that he has all these like psychic powers. Like he has telekinesis, he can possess people, and like throughout the story, it's kind of like a mix of stealth gameplay, running gun, and like you're trying to figure out like what's it all about and what the main twist is. It's a really dope game, and like one of the really underrated PS2 game, because I remember like hearing about it when it first came out, and it got some good reviews, but I was like, it was one of those games where I was like, I'll get around to it, but I never did.
Right. Yeah.
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 And that game was terrific, and
Does it still hold up?
it does. It still holds up. Like graphically, it's still kind of a little janky, you know.
Well, it's PS2.
It's
Think about what you did when-
PS2.
Being a-
That's
Right, but-
that's almost 20 years ago.
But as far as content, it's
Content is dope. It's
okay.
solid. So I played that. I finished Def Jam Vendetta for the PS2. Yeah. So I'm actually going back trying to unlock the rest of the other characters, going back to the campaign mode, and I'm also playing through Def Jam Fight for New York, which man, that game still looks good,
right.
and it still plays good, and like because there's like so many characters in that game to unlock. There's different like fighting styles you can unlock.
Yeah, but you unlock I remember you unlock them as you go through the story.
Yeah, and plus you get points, so you can develop your character's like abilities or like base stats, like upper or lower body strength, stamina. Method Man, Redman, Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes is one of my favorites in the game. He's like a submissions specialist.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's too bad that there's no remaster of the game because of like all the music that game used. So it's like the music rights, they can't like, it'll be too expensive to bring it back like for a remaster. So if you can find Def Jam Fight for New York or Vendetta like somewhere online or at a good retro game store, I suggest picking it up if the price is right.
Yeah, tell them how much you paid for it.
For Def Jam Fight for New York, I had to pay $40.
Wow.
Yeah. And which was the lowest I saw because like online on Amazon like copies are upwards like $75 to $100, $120, even for like just a disc alone.
How much are the set going for? How much is a PS2 going for?
Oh man,
It depends on who's it.
I'd say like maybe 65, 75. Yeah, around
Yeah,
there.
no, one game's worth than an average like system somebody selling now.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I was wondering. You know what I mean? Because they don't have the internet cable. They don't have the online capabilities anymore because they shut the service down a couple years ago.
Yeah.
So it's just strictly home play now. You know what I mean? Like it's strictly home play. There's no because I remember having to hardwire. I had the Ethernet.
Yep.
I went and bought the adapter just because my friends and I, like that was the one thing with Madden, we went hard with the Madden to the point where we would do drafts. We would, you know what I mean? We get it. The day we get it, draft night. So everybody would pick a team, and we just spit everything back, and it's, you know, it's what about the original? When you start from the beginning, you're building a team, so it's like 53 rounds.
Yeah.
But we only did 24. So basically, you got 24 picks, which allows you, if you do it like that. You don't have to, but to suit an offense, a defense, and a kicker and a punter.
Yeah, so you guys had a fantasy league.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. But we just we would gut everybody out. So now players didn't play where they played. You know what I mean? For the most part, and we would run 20 season. You know, we would do for the football season.
Right.
We do it every Sunday like the football season, all the way up into Super Bowl. And that was the money season. Then after that, it was always bragging rights. But we would play even more because now it wasn't just once a week. Now we'd play more often, and so by the time the next one roll around, we'd be 25 seasons in. Now we're playing with just virtual players.
Oh wow!
Just regurgitated, attributes and stuff like that, and you built them up.
That's a good idea. So just fantasy already takes up my time during football season.
Yeah, this was pre-fantasy.
Yeah.
This was pre-fantasy, you know what I mean? So it was just a cool way, and we even when fantasy came, we stuck to it. Right. We juggled both, but that was just getting the most out of it when you realize how much you could do, and because that's the thing I don't like. If you're gonna pay all this money for this video game, you need to play every bit of that shit. Whatever it offers, play that shit.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a slot, a casino slot, something. Play that shit. You know what I mean? Like, get your money's worth. So, that was my idea because the guys I was playing with, they would just pick a team and then just play head up in an exhibition mode. And I'm like, the fucking fun in that? Because before that time, that was before up to date stats that could bump, because you know how you can bump up your players' attributes and shit in real time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you couldn't do that back then. The only way you could do that was getting the virtual players in the drafts later on and building them up as their careers went on. You know what I mean? And the guys that you had already drafted. But
that's a dope way to do it. That was a dope way to do it. That kind of reminds me of how we used to play like the old. We're huge wrestling fans. So
okay.
yeah, we used to play like the No Mercy.
Yep.
For Nintendo 64, we would do our created characters.
Yep.
And then we'll just let the computer. We'll like set up matches. Like we would run in our own like wrestling organization, and we would just like have the computer just go at it.
Right.
Have championships and everything.
And just watch it play out.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm saying there's a million and one.
Kyle loves your T-shirt though.
Oh, thank you. Got to shout out to Bomani Jones. He was the first person I saw.
I did. Yeah, I remember that. And ESPN suspended him for it.
Yeah, and I loved him for it. He became my favorite analyst at ESPN.
I can't even say who my favorite.
And he and then I saw it online, and I was teetering too because I got the other one. I'm sure you guys saw it on Instagram. It's the podium with Captain America, Iron Man,
and Black Panther in the middle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As a matter of fact, I posted that picture on my gram. Like, yo, somebody.
Yeah, I had somebody sells it as a shirt, and it was just one of those advertisements that I saw scrolling through Instagram and just so.
Nice.
This one too, because this came trending shortly after the whole Bomani Jones thing. That's how I got it on this.
All right. All right.
But thank you.
Oh yeah.
It's one of my favorite shirts too.
And one other thing that I've been up to the other day I not caught up, but I'm in the middle of the second season of Atlanta on FX.
Dude, and I haven't seen any of it, and everybody's like, I am missing out. That's sincerely missing out.
It's an excellent show. Like Donald Glover, Lakeith Stanfield, man, like they're terrific in it. Like that.
Donald Glover is Midas right now. Like everything he touches, just
like
the shit.
Yeah, he's like a jack of all trades.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like this, he is a Renaissance man. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he's good.
Yeah,
he is extremely good at what he does. You know what I mean? Like whatever he touches. So
yeah.
Right. Like the he got shut down for trying to get he was trying to do a Deadpool animated series.
Yeah.
And they gave him the booth, and I was like, wow, no, let him go.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why would you not?
Well, I mean, with this merger going right now, with this merger happening, it's a possibility now.
Okay.
Yeah, with Disney and Fox.
Okay, yeah. I can see that. Do you approve of the merger?
Yeah, I have some very mixed feelings about it.
Yeah,
just on its face, man. Just because of where they're going, like it just seems like it's going to lose its. We're seeing what's happening to Star Wars. You know what I mean? As a result,
This is the Star Wars geek, right?
but as a result, right, you're seeing what's happening now. It's going with Disney, and you're like, some of it's, some of it's, you know what I mean? And it's you wonder if that's what's going to happen with this whole merger.
It's gonna be more of a cash cow and all that. Now, my thing is, the one thing I'm up for it, we're gonna see the X-Men done right.
Okay.
Hopefully we're gonna see the Fantastic Four done right. Like I've seen, those first two movies were okay for its time.
Yeah.
Right.
For its time. The last one, the Blu-ray is $5 on FYE. Not even used.
The Michael B. Jordan. Yeah.
Not even used. Right. And I just looked at it, I was just like,
oh, is it X-Men Apocalypse? What?
No, the second Fantastic Four.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
No, Michael B. Jordan as Human Torch, and where Dr. Doom was only in it for 10 minutes, I heard.
It wasn't even real Dr. Doom.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't even watch it. I'm still planning. I'm going to have a bad movie day and just watch terrible movies all day.
That's tough. The people there's I know a couple guys, a couple comedian friends of mine, John Moses and Chris Clark. And Chris Clark actually has a YouTube channel called C Snacks, and he does reviews on snacks.
All right.
And all the off the wall Oreo flavors and shit like that. But John and Chris together do a bad movie review. They pick bad movies.
This one too.
You know what I mean? So
this one too. He did a Victor's Corner where he purposely.
Oh yeah,
purposely went to go see that last Tyler Perry movie.
Oh, Acrimony.
Just to shit on it.
Well, okay. I didn't go just to shit on it. No, I didn't.
You told
me. No. What I because I have Movie Pass. Right?
Okay. Yeah.
And Movie Pass, you can watch any bad movie and feel no regrets. It's only $10 a month.
Yeah.
See all the movies you want. So I went with my girlfriend and her mom, and we had a great time because we were laughing at the movie because the movie was just an unintentional comedy. It was trying to be a serious drama. But Tyler Perry can't write or direct, so it turned out to be an unintentional comedy. We were just laughing at all the serious moments.
Yeah,
it's one of those movies get it on Redbox, invite your friends over, just crack on it, have a good time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But another thing I heard too, I came across an article, but John Krasinski from A Quiet Place, and Jim from The Office, he wants to play He's interested in playing Mr. Fantastic.
Really?
With Emily Blunt playing his wife Emily Blunt playing Invisible Woman.
Yeah, I would see that. I kind of dig that.
Yeah. Somebody actually did the art.
He's got this. He's aesthetically. He's you know what I mean. And he's a good actor.
Yeah. And have you seen A Quiet Place?
No.
Oh man, you gotta.
Okay.
That's. Oh, okay.
That's the one where they got to be quiet or the monsters run up on them.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, he's got.
Yeah.
Not with that fan art. I can see that happening.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, like I said, if you do watch Atlanta, it's each episode's a half hour long. Right. It's really good. It's it talks about racism and the black experience, but in a way that's very not only unique, especially to Donald Glover, but also stuff you can deeply relate to on an everyday level. Mm-hmm. And it's done in a way that's smart, and it's not in a way that's beating you over the head with it.
Yeah, and
it's very clever. If you do watch it and you get to season 2, watch the Teddy Perkins episode because man, that's basically Donald Glover in whiteface, and he plays this creepy Michael Jackson, Michael Jackson / Howard Hughes type recluse.
Okay.
Yeah, and it features Lakeith Stanfield's character Darius, so it's kind of Get Out 1.5 kind of.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, that's an amazing episode.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. And yeah, that's pretty much it on my end.
Light ass week for us, man.
Oh man, but speaking of stuff to get into, man, and seeing your T-shirt, Caucasians be tripping, man. It's we're seeing the trend of white people calling the police on black folks minding their own business. I mean, between black folks can't even have a damn cookout without some white woman trying to hassle them. Brothers can't go to Starbucks.
And then they can go, what are you so angry for? How much time do you have?
Yo, she was on the phone for 2 hours.
Yeah.
For 2 hours.
It just cried out of nowhere. She put on the white woman tag, just like a toggle switch. You know what I mean? She went from to destroy it. Wow. What? Wow. Wow. From a, you know what I mean? Just
really giving her the Oscar.
Right. From a thespian standpoint, wow. Salute to you, lady. Like, man. It is. This is gonna sound kind of left-handed, but I'm tired of people. I'm not just tired of white people. I'm tired of black people. I'm tired of people. I'm tired of those type of people. You know what I mean? Because we also got to remember, it ain't just those folks acting up too. We got folks on our end
We do.
acting a fool too. You know what I mean? And it was funny because my co-host from Eff Yo Podcast, EJ Edmonds, one day we was just sitting talking about this nigga. Now, if you listen to any of my podcasts, you know, or see my stand-up, I don't refer to the incumbent as by his name. I call him this nigga.
Yep.
And I call him this nigga because we all call him this nigga. Think about it.
Talk about
I'm talking about the person that's sitting in the White House right now.
right.
Yeah, the angry orange.
Right, the angry orange. Right. Right. We all got nicknames for him, but every black person, once a day, if they hear his name come up, whether they speak it or think it, they're calling him this nigga. Because you're usually like, this nigga.
Yep.
What? Oh my, this nigga. So, and I have made it a point to use this nigga. That is how I refer to him, is this nigga. He didn't want to refer to the last person in office by his name and respect his title. I'm just carrying on his tradition, and he's this nigga.
Right on.
You know, so
Hey.
this nigga got folks really feeling themselves, and that was a discussion EJ and I were having on how they're tripping as a result. And he said to me, did black people act like this when Obama first got voted in? Absolutely. I didn't hesitate. You bet your ass we did. Absolutely.
I'll admit. I was when he first got into office. I was working at an auto parts warehouse. I was the only black person there.
Yep.
Man, I didn't even say nothing. I just came stunting.
Couldn't tell me shit. Right.
Yo, you could not.
Think about it. Yo, we came up with mixtapes based on this man.
Yep.
My president is black. You know what I mean? Like song. Yeah, we did. We really did. And that's the part everybody, you know, and that's what I mean about the hating people. To bring it back full circle, that's what I mean about hating people, because everybody's doing this.
Right.
Nobody's doing this. You know what I mean? That's what I try to do on my podcast. When we talk about certain issues like this, I try to give both sides of the coin. I'm usually on one side of the coin, but I don't try to make it seem like I'm just gonna dig in my heels and there's no other. There's always another side of the coin.
Right.
Whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, there's always two sides to the coin. And to me, that's the best. If you can get to a point where you can at least understand, you don't have to agree with it, but if you just process, if you can just at the base of the word understand, just process where they're coming from, it's a start. It's definitely a start to open it, because everybody's saying we need to sit down and be able to talk to each other. Well, we got to be able to understand each other at a certain point. You know what I mean? But if we keep doing this, we're never going to understand each other. So, but nonetheless, white folks are really tripping.
Yeah.
like really tripping.
I mean, I didn't watch all 25 minutes of that video.
Nah, me either.
Me neither.
But yeah, who has 25 minutes of like hearing the same stuff over and over again?
Well, I watched a 26-minute video between a possum and a skunk, but
Yeah.
it was fucking awesome. We'll get back. We'll touch back on that, but I don't want to go on a tangent. So
Yeah.
But I mean, I can honestly say like I had a good laugh.
yeah,
And I'm sitting there like, you know, if I was one of those black guys, if I was one of those guys like grilling, I would offer her some
absolutely,
food.
absolutely. You're not hungry, love. You don't want something to eat.
Yeah.
I'm the one. I'll kill you with your kindness. I'll kill you with kindness, and to the point where you really look like an ass. Like really look like one of my superpowers is. It's probably my best superpower is my line in the sand is drawn back way further than most. But where the superpower comes in is it's so far back. By the time you cross it, you're wrong. You painted yourself in a corner.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wish she did.
It's so far back. Right. Exactly.
Wish she did.
Exactly. Like how miserable must you be to want to stop somebody from having a barbecue?
Yeah. Yeah, that says more about her and her life.
Right,
Exactly.
right. That don't say no. Right. Not even that's not even a rate. I won't say not racial, but not that broad of a scope. That goes to her personally.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That goes like that's more about what she talks about on her time on the couch with the therapist. You know what I mean?
Oh,
And
she
if
gonna
don't-
need one.
Right, and she don't have one.
Gonna
she
need
needs
one.
You know what I mean? But like, yeah, like that to, and your issue was because they're using charcoal.
Cool.
Yeah, it's
That's
like,
it. That's all you got.
That's it. Using charcoal. I'm a Listen, that's the best way to barbecue. I grew up on charcoal.
yeah, it's what it's made for.
But even if you don't like, I'm not. I guess because I don't understand what the fuck was your end game. What was your end game? What was your like? You know what I mean? Like, to me, when you make that call, things got to be processed.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you just don't do that. Or maybe just white people do. Maybe that's a problem. Maybe because they do it willy-nilly and don't think about just, all right, I'm really going to be taking up this civil servant's time. Is it that important? Are the streets going to be that much quieter and safer because I have forced them to use butane or propane?
And propane accessories.
And propane accessory, right? The only person that's failing this is Hank Hill right now, and you know what I mean. And that's my guy, but he ain't calling. Hank ain't calling. If Hank ain't calling us, and Hank hates charcoal,
Yeah.
Hank ain't calling. Don't call. Like, come on, the fuck. Like, damn, man. It's just it's tiring.
It is.
Tiring. It really is tiring because like we got enough problems.
Right.
We got we are barbecuing because we have problems. You know what I mean? Like we're doing this shit to decompress. You know what I mean? The black people for the most part, we barbecue to decompress, man. It's we enjoy being able to feed the masses and be the master of our grill, and you know what I mean. It's something that we all enjoy. It's something that all Americans I enjoy, I think, to a certain degree. But
Yeah.
black people, like white people barbecue on holidays. We barbecue because it's Tuesday, because it's nice out, because it ain't raining.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, the social gatherings are very important to us.
Right.
They are essential to our survival.
I
You know what I mean?
do not
So I
disagree
guess
at all.
that's and I don't think that's the part she understands, man. Like we're just out here because we wake up and getting through the day without major drama being said on our front porch is tricky. It's fucking tricky. So if we got through the day and virtually unscathed, word, man, crack a beer, put on the fucking grill, dude. And like, bitch, why do you care if it's charcoal? Like, we'll give you a fucking burger. Like, we will. We always do. There's plenty. There's always plenty. There's always plenty, unless it's a family function and that family member comes in with Tupperware. You know what I mean? Leaves with more than what they brought. You know, we all got that family member, but
I've been that family.
like
member
call the cops on them. Call the cops on Aunt Shirley because she always comes with empty Tupperware and leaves with shit. You know what I mean? There's your crime. Like, we worry about charcoal.
Oh man.
Whatever.
Yeah.
You think it's because nobody wanted a raisin potato salad?
Sure. Yup, because you cut your fucking potato up and your chunks are too big. That's why white potatoes, German potato, they always call it German potato salad. As soon as you call it German potato, don't even leave it in the car. Leave it in the car. Take it home.
My thing is, what's with the raisins?
You know what? I got my cousin is related to a Dominican dude, and they put beets in theirs.
You know what?
You can
They
hold
do.
that too. You can hold. The shit is pink.
It is.
The shit is pink.
But you know what? It's amazing. I love it.
Hey, listen, you going to love that?
You know,
No beets, no.
I don't even eat beets. I don't even
No,
eat
you eat
but
beets. You do. You eat beets.
I won't eat like straight beets, but like that. That's literally the only way I would eat them.
Okay, there's got to be. And see, to me,
Because there's more stuff
So
and it's covering
the-
the beet taste.
the hue alone throws me off. Just
Right. Beets taste like dirt.
like, no, I'm talking about this potato. I'm going back to the potato salad with the beets in it because I like potato salad. If you cook the shit right, fucking right. You know what I mean? But just the hue that the beats, yo. The next time, Google it. Google fucking potato salad beats. Get it to some point. The pink, it's not a basic pink. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's something that it's a pink that you can only get in a computer. It's not in the basic 8. It's not in that palette. It's not even the 64 with the shop in the box. It's not even in that.
There you go.
Yep.
You feel me?
My best friend's Dominican, so it's like I grew up on
And
it.
I listen. There's a lot of good food that Dominicans got, and I eat a lot of that shit, but not that fucking pink ass potatoes. No, and don't feel bad. I didn't even eat the pink snowballs from Hostess. So like,
Okay, those are the I hate coconut.
oh no, I like coconut,
I hate.
but it was a travesty to coconut. It was a slap in the face to coconut. Is what those things are. You know what I mean? Because I eat like a coconut cake from scratch. Man,
I have had it before.
life's simple pleasures.
And my girl has coconut Oreos. I never knew they made those. So
Golden cookie or the original cookie?
golden cookie.
Yeah. That's not real Oreos though.
Nah, it's not gonna set it off right. Cause like with the chocolate with the coconut, we're working on some like Almond Joy Mouse kind of deal in a cookie format, and you pique my interest. But golden cookie, coconut,
Yeah, no.
Nah,
Was it
man,
no, it was pina colada.
oh no, you
Golden
really
cookie.
lost me. Yeah, no, that just really off the chain. That's just all right.
Yo, they're getting off the chain with these.
They really
flavors.
are. They really are.
Yeah.
Cherry hearts and peeps and
Red velvet.
right, red velvet. Like see, no. And meanwhile, the original's sitting here like, dude, I'm still the GOAT.
I saw probably a fake one on Facebook. There's a ramen flavored Oreo.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a meme joint right there.
Yeah.
Oh man, please tell me like homegirl, barbecue girl. The memes aren't.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
The internet is man on fire right now.
Like I had to get in on that slander.
Yo, the drink, the standing behind Martin Luther King, I was like,
Yep.
Oh yeah. Her in the crowd during the New Day entrance. WWE.
No, I personally made that one.
Oh, you did?
I made that one.
That was hilarious.
I had the order. I still got it.
That's a great.
I personally made
Yo,
that
the Rosa
one.
Parks one when she's in the back of the bus.
Yep, I saw that.
I'm like, yo, she's right here. I see it. Like, come on. Oh man.
Oh man, one of the funniest ones was yeah, right there. New to the left. Yeah, one of the funniest ones was her on the phone during the Black Panther waterfall fight.
Yeah. Oh,
that was
the
hilarious.
internet is killing.
They
Like
got a couple
the
of Jefferson's ones.
Oh,
that one I saw.
They got a piece of the pie.
Yeah.
The
Yep.
police, they got a piece of the pie. Yeah, they got a piece of the pie. They're moving
Like,
up. They're moving on up. Oh, man.
The internet is undefeated.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Big ups to all them people with no time on their hands to create that shit, man.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep. Yo, memes is like the #1 way we communicate as a people, as a species.
Yo, nowadays people
How
are
wild is that, man? Really, like seriously, it does convey so much. Like you could say so much just from a meme. You know what I mean? And it's funny you say that. It's that is.
I'm
it is
guaranteeing
really becoming-
like everybody got at least 50 memes. Everybody has at least 50 memes in their phone.
I don't. But don't judge me. I'm 47. Don't judge me. I am on the other side of that. Do you know what I mean? I'm in the Venn diagram. I'm in the funky side of the Venn diagram. I'm really not.
But
I'm not at the intersection. I'm not here.
But
I'm
people
not here.
are on social media to steal memes.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. I know people that go hard body with memes.
Oh, yeah.
Hard body. Like, do you fucking work? Like, wow. You know?
Man.
But and between making them and searching for them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But
Yeah.
I'm a bit country. I'm a bit rock and roll on that one.
yeah, and that's the thing. Like, like you
love
said,
memes.
it's the medium now. It's the medium in good, bad, or indifferent. You know, so it's like anything else. You enjoy the good, you throw away the bad, you cringe at the indifferent, and keep it moving. I guess,
Okay, so
you know?
speaking of this nigga,
Yep.
Kanye wearing the MAGA
That
hats.
nigga
Sunken Place is real.
is truly real. Man, like, it's hard to watch, but I am not surprised. The level of his arrogance, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you watch Kanye from his inception and watch his arrogance as his star rises, it's not. Like, a few years ago, you sold a holy fucking shirt for hundreds of dollars.
Yep.
Yeah.
You arrogant motherfucker.
Even sold a white T-shirt for that much.
Right. You sold my father's T-shirt that he does gardening in for $700. Like, what the fuck?
Yo.
And you idiots bought them. Bought them. And you know what I mean? And the guys joking about, you know, this guy's ragging on other guys. That's boot. Like, how the fuck can you tell? How can you tell? There's a better quality of raggedy?
I always say,
You know what I mean? Like,
I always say Yeezys look like Ace bandages.
yeah, like the last one, the last Yeezys, the ones that just came out, them the ones that look like, I call them Kirby 4s. they look like Kirby's, right? From Nintendo.
They do, man.
They're all puffy and soft and just. oh my god!
And they're selling. They what? 300 a pop, maybe more.
I see the boutiques selling them for like them stupid amounts. Like,
Listen,
what?
I ain't got $400 to spend on sneakers.
And there's a
I'm
local
not a sneaker-
boutique that sells them,
Yeah.
and I don't want to shout them out because I like them. But like, y'all are selling some ugly fucking sneakers, and like, fuck status symbol shit, man. Like, there's got to be some sort of aesthetic. It's got to be aesthetically pleasing at some point. It can't just because they're Yeezys. Like, fuck you, Yeezy. Wake up. You didn't want to come to work that day. You made them. You signed off on whatever. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. That's and to me, that's where the arrogance comes in. I'm Yeezy. They're good. I say it's fashion. I dictate fashion. No, the fuck you don't. If that's what you're putting out, fuck you. No, you don't. And don't get me wrong, because them other Yeezys are dope. I don't even own a pair, but I like sneakers enough to know what I like.
Yeah.
And they got some, you know, he's got a couple of them ones that are really fucking dope. But them last ones, like,
Yes.
Man.
So what happens when you have too many yes people in your circle telling you what
that's
you want to hear
right.
instead of
So
Definitely.
believing?
if you can hear this Yeezy, we would rather you had better sneakers. You could have fucking kept the liposuction. How about that? Oh, I did the liposuction for you. You should have did better
yeah,
sneakers
I
for
heard
us.
about it.
You could have stayed fat with better sneakers.
No.
He does me. He bothers me, man. Like, like, I know it sounds crazy, but every time I've seen him interrupt somebody at an award show, I always want it to be me. I'm like, damn, I wish that was me. Damn, I wish that was me. Like, I only wish, even if I was a presenter, if I was presenting you the award, and here comes Yeezy trying to, man, oh man, we would. You talk about viral. Because you'll get like I'm trying to WWE move on you. And I'm going old school.
Somebody even yet tried to like shut him down when he tried to do something like that.
I just mean to interrupt you. And like, if you had did that to him,
Yeah.
think about that. If he was accepting one of his awards and somebody interrupted him, what? He would. He would snap right. He would. And that again, at its base, it's all arrogance. It's all arrogance. And dude, you fell off after graduation. That's me. They love 808 and Heartbreak Breaks. People that love that shit.
Yeah.
But me,
Yeah.
you just went hard. And Pablo, for that hype with Pablo.
Okay, I liked Life of Pablo. Life of Pablo was dope. That was a dope one. I would not put it up against College Dropout. You know, his first three definitely would not.
Right,
College
the first
Dropout
his first three was like
fire.
I can listen to this dude forever.
Classics.
Forever. Are
Classics.
you kidding me? Don't ever stop music. And it was like, dude, what are you doing? You know? And all because, don't get me wrong, you're supposed to push the envelope as an artist and stuff. But
Evolve and everything, but just.
But evolve. To me, just because you're doing something different doesn't mean it's evolution. Trial and error is evolution. Learning that this don't work. All right, so let's retool it and you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But not just more. And it's because what most people are saying is it's to sell. It's because the release is coming up of the projects that he's doing. So this is just to kind of draw traffic or whatever.
Yeah.
And folks are like, he's a genius for that. I'm like, fuck you. What kind of genius is he? Like, is he?
Everybody
You know what I mean? Like,
Everybody does that.
I get the the connotation to genius, but if like you didn't need all that for your first 3 albums, you didn't need none of that. You didn't need none of that. So like that to me, that's what you do, man. Just go lock yourself in that studio, get off Twitter, get off all that dumb shit. Greatest tweet. Let's go back to memes and Twitter beef. Best Twitter shit ever though. George W. Bush, Kanye hates black people.
Yeah.
I saw that. I was just like,
win.
I just said,
That was
win.
damn.
full circle.
Like, damn, that shit came full circle. That's all I was like, damn, it did it. Because I was like, yo, because when he first did it, but
I think
2 weeks before late registration came out,
Right.
he was like, I'm like, okay, Kanye with us.
Right,
Kanye was with us.
Right.
Yeah.
He was socially
Right.
He was socially
Because the next
conscious.
morning, black people was like,
Yo, like and we was behind him, and he just
Right.
now he's rocking the MAGA shirts and all
And then
that.
when you see the, and I think collectively as a people, when we all read what the George Bush tweet, we all went,
damn.
right, oh, damn.
But you know,
He got no comeback.
he's in that sunken place.
Yeah.
That sunken place,
That's
and you
real.
want to know what it is?
That is
The
real.
Kardashian sunken
First,
place.
that's
Kris
real.
Jenner is the devil. Kris Jenner's okay. Okay, Rob Senior's dead.
Right.
Bruce Jenner's a woman.
Yep.
Lamar Odom's a crackhead.
Well, Lamar had his demons before that.
Okay,
Lamar had his demons before that, but they helped him push. They, you know what I mean?
yeah, they
didn't-
gave him that push.
Sure.
Rob Jr. went crazy,
Yep.
and now Kanye's not insane.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. It's a cauldron.
Yep,
It's a
and
straight
Ray
cauldron. I
J
agree.
is sitting back with his feet up, laughing his ass off.
Playing that tape on a loop.
Hey, a lot of people got on Ray J, thought he was a punchline. Now the shoe's on the other foot.
Yeah.
What? Well, not necessarily because she's a fucking multimedia. She's swimming in it.
Yeah.
Kim K's swimming in it. You know what I mean? She's making more money than Ray J.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, it wasn't as bad as people made it out to be in the beginning. You know what I mean? Right? He's definitely survived it. That's
Yeah.
for sure. He's not Kanye.
He survived it. Nick Cannon
Right,
survived
he's,
it.
Right, he's laughing. He's laughing and right. He's
Yeah.
definitely on the better side of that coin. You know what I mean?
And I will say, like, Kanye's slavery to the Kardashian empire is a choice, not actual slavery. Yeah.
Say it again so the congregation in the back hears you, brother.
Yeah.
Absolutely, man. That's
yeah.
For real, man. Like, for real. Because you was very... and that's the thing about his arrogance. He's very in your face about it. You know what I mean? And, like, dude, do you know we're watching you fucking just destroy yourself? Like, really just go to that place, man, and just be the antithesis of everything you presented yourself to be in the beginning. At least the way I saw it, you know? So...
Yeah.
It's tough, man.
But watch Kanye's album be fire though. Like a lot of people are not even have like no interest in it.
I don't.
But it's like
No,
he's
no, I
doing
tell
all
you
this.
what, how about
This shit will probably be fucking dope.
So how about this? I love Jay-Z.
Right.
I'm a big Jay-Z fan.
Me too.
I hate R. Kelly.
Yep.
For obvious reasons. But Best of Both Worlds is a fucking
banger.
And I don't own it. I have an external hard drive, and
I own every.
and
I
got
own
about
almost every Jay-Z
I got
album.
about 125 gigs of music
Right.
from everywhere. You know what I mean? And it's hip hop based. But no, I do not. There's no R. Kelly in any of my library. None.
Not even the past. Like I can't.
No.
All right. Here's the thing. Like as a DJ, it sucks knowing that.
No,
R.
you-
Kelly's
as a DJ,
piece
you
of
have
shit.
to have it.
You have to have it.
Yeah.
You have to have it. It's
Step in the name of love, still. Please.
it holds up. It's going to.
Still
It's going to.
holds up.
It has its place
The
in
old stuff- the old stuff.
It's in the wedding tier. It's in the wedding tier.
Yeah, it is.
It's not gonna go anywhere. It may fade out a little bit, but it's not gonna go away. It's not going to
You
go
still
away.
play it. I mean, if I have a DJ at 148,
It's a-
I wouldn't play it.
And that's the and it's weird because things like "Step in the Name of Love," "I Believe I Can Fly," if you listen to them and look at the lyric sheet, they are beautifully written. Right, they are beautifully written. "Fortunate" by Maxwell,
Love that.
somebody that you
That's a great
don't
song.
even put in the same category, was written by R. Kelly. So this dude, look, he's an amazing writer.
Yeah.
It is. Yeah.
So you hear these tunes, and then you hear his own stuff, and I defy you. Anybody out there that's listening right now, if you're an R. Kelly fan, I defy you to go back listening to the entire catalog, and I defy you to tell me it doesn't read like a letter to a 15-year-old girl.
Yeah.
Oh
The
my
entire
god.
catalog.
Really, age ain't nothing but a number.
You
You ready
remind
for
me of my
my
Jeep.
Jeep?
That's the one I always go to in my argument. What the hell kind of line?
Oh,
Who's walking up to a woman in the club going, "What's up, girl? You remind me of my Jeep." How do you even respond to that? How do you take that? Is it insulting? Is it funny? Is it an icebreaker? It's
Remind me of my Jeep. Yeah, you trying to say she's fat?
what are you trying like?
Yeah.
Right, and not what are you trying to say like I'm insulted. What are you trying to say because you're speaking in code right now? I have no idea how to even process that. That is something only a teenage girl would find sexy or would cling to.
Yeah, he even said like I forgot what the song was. He said like if there's grass on the infield, then play ball.
Yeah.
What does that tell you right there, man? Like he was admitting it though, and plus he calls himself the Pied
Pied
Piper
Piper.
of R&B. The Pied Piper, like that fairy tale character who
Yeah.
plays the flute, and the little kids follow him around every time he plays the flute. That's just throwing it in your face.
We and we as a people, because this is the part I don't like about us people. We, on the one hand, have seen this man. We've seen this man. There's video documented footage of this man
Yes.
doing unspeakable acts to.
Oh, you can say it on this podcast. You can say it on this podcast.
Right, but I'm just saying, just unspeakable acts to young women. And not only did we not vilify him, we continued his rise to stardom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Because of that Chocolate Factory album.
Now, let's go back. We watched 4 policemen beat up a black man named Rodney King on the side of the road, found out guilty, and we watched it on video footage and burned LA to the fucking ground. The fucked up part about it is, and this is why I really, what really builds my anger towards it all, is because again, we as a people, we devalue our women so much. Because to those people that support or don't see the big problem with this, their argument is always, well, you know what you know how them fast ass girls are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And placing some blame on these girls. And it shows how we hold our women, what kind of regard we hold our women in, which ain't shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because if he was pissing on little boys, we wouldn't be talking about him right now.
Right.
He wouldn't. I don't give a fuck how good of a fucking musician he would have been. He could have been a one-man band and sang every fucking part.
Yeah, he'd probably be in prison.
He would be in prison right now.
Under the prison.
Under the prison, a pariah. You know what I mean? We would go to the 4 corners of the world and back to do everything we could to make sure this person did not exist. You know what I mean? Outside of killing this person. Seriously.
Right.
But it's okay because he's pissing on little girls. So like, nah, fuck R. Kelly and anybody down with him. That's how I feel.
Word.
Yeah, you're definitely right. And then not
know what
to
I mean?
mention, like, we grew up on rape culture.
Right. So like,
Yeah.
when
We did.
at some point do you know what I mean? Like, I grew up in that culture too, but I ain't raping nobody.
Right.
Thought of it bothers me. You know what I mean? Bill Cosby.
Yep.
Do I believe that Bill Cosby did it? Now I do. Do I also believe that the powers that be kept this in their pocket until he made a power play to try and buy NBC? Absolutely.
I did indicate that.
Absolutely.
I did indicate that. The
Absolutely.
conspiracy theorist in me does speak. And I listened to Invictus Cordo last week. Let me, all right, I have to, like, I gotta clear my name.
But I do.
I gotta clear my name up.
Okay.
Because you tried to bury me last week.
I didn't try to bury you.
You tried to bury me.
I was being as respectful as
I
possible.
said, you respectfully tried to bury me.
I go on.
So, like, my thing was going back to the infamous pound cake speech.
Yeah.
My thing was of how he would, when he was saying, okay, yeah, saying about how the kid got killed for pound cake, over pound cake and stuff, and how he was like defending that, basically saying like serves him right for being killed.
Yeah.
No, fuck him for that.
Yeah.
My thing of how I saying like it's just a generational thing was when It's just simply when he talked about, oh, you guys are wearing your pants down. Mm-hmm. You're listening to this and this and that and that. Yeah. Those little tidbits, that's when I was just saying I'm not going to pay attention to that because it's just a generational thing.
Okay.
That's what I initially meant. Yeah.
Oh, no, Bill's always been like this.
Yeah.
Bill's always been like
that's
this.
That's what I was
Bill
initially
has always been like this.
Yeah.
So, like, there's a part of me that's in my feelings about him falling.
Right.
But there's also a part of me that was like, nigga, you was very self-righteous.
Right.
Yeah.
You were very self-righteous for a long time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All of my life, you have been very what we ain't doing right and what we should be doing. Mm-hmm. So, like, yeah, like, your chickens have come home to roost.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But, yeah, there's a strong side of me that, because my thing is, like, now, 2018, and don't get me wrong, you know, there shouldn't be a statute of limitations on it, but, like, if all these women had beef, nobody spoke up until now. Nobody. Right. Nobody was in their feelings until you saw this dude making a play for NBC. No. Meanwhile, Weinstein they ain't even got a court date for Weinstein.
Right.
Not yet.
They ain't got a court. Matt Lauer, NBC cleared shit with Matt Lauer. Like, you feel me? So, like, I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just saying it's not as far-fetched as it sounds. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean? There's some conspiracy theories that make me raise an eyebrow, and there's somewhere I wipe my ass with. But that's one of them where I'm like, man, I don't know. And what's really fucked up about it for the victims is that in some of these trials, there have been some that were out strictly for monetary gain.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and that fucks it up for the actual victims. It actually enables the predator. It enables the predator because now it's you see these women do it to me all the time. They're just trying to get money, and it makes that case so much stronger for them, and it allows them to be, you know, stay predators. So it's like, you know, there's so many people involved that's fucked up with that. Not just Bill, but I hold Bill accountable too, because like, yeah, Bill Cosby, son, you didn't need it. And I was talking about this with somebody, and they brought up an interesting point that. And not in excusing it, just kind of bringing up the point that it may not have been a sexual assault in the thing of this is the only way I can take it, but this is my fetish. You know what I mean? And I didn't think of it from that. It was like, it's creepy.
It is.
But a lot of fetishes are creepy. The word fetish sounds creepy. Like,
you think about
it's a creepy word. It's a creepy word. But you know what I mean? And again, I'm not saying it to condone it, not at all. But it may be just what he likes. It's what gets him up. You know what I mean? And it's screwy, but at the end of the day, yeah, man, you assaulted these women, man. It is what it is.
You really did just make a point saying that the word fetish does sound creepy.
Yeah, like, you know. But yeah, he's guilty, and it is what it is. Like, I lost a comedian friend in the beginning of it all because I didn't go right to guilty with it. Because, you know what I mean? It was just the accusations. And she ran with the accusations, and I didn't. And she was like, oh, well, you're a rapist. Really? You just made that connection just like that? All right. And unfriended me, so that was cool. That's the only time I've ever been unfriended ever in social media.
Wow.
Well, because you know what I mean? Because I don't really attack people. I don't put much more content. Maybe if I put more content, I'll probably get blocked some more.
No, say that if you get blocked, that means you're doing something right.
Okay.
Because you're blocked. Cause
then I'm really doing shitty right
now. I listened to some past episodes of the Eff Yo Podcast.
Yeah, that's
the Tyrese thing had me like I'm listening to it last night at work. We're gonna overnight. My clients are sleeping, and I'm like holding back. Like,
Tyrese bothered me that day too. Like, here's the thing. Like I said, the premise of our show is we talk shit about a bunch of shit. That is pretty much the premise. But the underlying premise, as I'm learning, is EJ likes to just get me on rants. EJ likes to get my blood up and then take me off the leash and just let me go. And he gets off on this shit. He gets a perverse pleasure in this shit. And that day was one of the days. And it was the whole thing about Tyrese and crying about the whole child support issue.
Yeah.
And we laughed our ass off on that. That shit was comedy to me. Straight fucking comedy. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And people was like, oh, and so did the internet. Yeah. Somebody, you know what I mean? Somebody put because if you listen to it, we plucked it from what we was listening to. Somebody put an R&B track behind it and shit. Mm-hmm. And it sounds like an interlude to an R&B. So like, like comedy gold. Like, fuck you, comedy gold. Mm-hmm. And then all the supporters come and leave that man alone. He's going through it. Like, fuck you. I know what it's like. I've been through a custody battle. And I ain't Tyrese.
Right.
You know what I mean? We ain't even in the same tax bracket. We're nowhere near the same tax bracket. You understand what I'm saying? So what you're trying to squeeze out of me for child support is blood from a fucking rock. Yeah. You got money, nigga.
Yeah, you got a Starbucks in his backyard.
Right. You got Starbucks. You feel me?
Yeah.
You got Starbucks in your back. Get off the... So yeah, I'm laughing at your fucking pain. But more importantly, I'm laughing at your pain because you as soon as you hit the record button, all bets are off.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Because I'll be honest with you. I fell apart much to the same way. Mm-hmm. I had a very nasty custody battle with my oldest son with his mother. Mm-hmm. Very nasty. It lasted over a year and a half. I lost a lot of money I didn't have any fucking way. And at a time where I was hurt, I was on workman's comp, and I had to learn to walk again. So there wasn't even under the table options for me to do. I was scraping, and like I wasn't making no money. I was hustling. I was hustling just to pay bills. I wasn't hustling to floss. I was hustling to pay bills and keep child support off my back. And there was times where it was ugly. Where she, you know what I mean? I don't want to get on because we're in a good place. So like, but it was ugly. It was ugly. And I would go home and I would break down like that, man. Like bad, blubbering, like. But I never hit the record button. It's not your business. It's not any of our business. And once you make it our business, you got to take it. You got to take it how it comes.
Yeah.
You got to take it how it comes, and we're coming.
Yep.
And you know what I mean?
I put his face on mine on the Snapchats just for like for comedic purposes.
Right, because to me, the part that I don't dig is you made it an I statement. You made this big I statement about whatever it is, because I'm laughing too hard to really even understand what the fuck you're talking about. I'm laughing too hard and you're crying too hard. So I don't really know what you're talking about. You know what I mean? But in this, what you did, because of that I statement, what you didn't do was think about your child. Your child has to grow up with this legacy behind them. Yeah. Not legacy, but this fucking reminder.
Yeah.
That daddy lost her shit. And put it on for the world to see. You could have lost your shit right in your Starbucks. You could have walked across the fucking yard, went in your Starbucks, and cried to your barista. Right? You could have did that, but no. You wanted to do all that, and then days later, just waiting on this Will Smith money to come. Word?
First off, there was one thing too. He asked Will and Jada for money.
Right.
They basically just said, "We'll get back to you on that," and never saw a dime.
And my thing, we're not supposed to know that. That shit we ain't supposed to know. If you want us to lay off your ass, don't put it all on social media. Like this is day one shit. This is 101 social media shit. You know what I mean? They can only scrutinize what you put out there. You know what I mean? So whatever you put out there with the fact that what may come back, may not be what you like. It may not be something you. So you gotta pick your moments. And you fucked up. And it was we was beating up fathers that day because Lonzo Ball's name came up too. So I think I did Lonzo first.
What? Yeah. Oh man.
Either way it went. They both got it.
Yeah.
By the time I started talking about that, I was mad at all fathers. I was just like, fuck this dude.
No, my thing was like Lonzo Ball was doing what any father should do. He was bigging up his son.
I statement.
But
I statements.
To a certain extent. And he did, and I agree with y'all saying he made it more about him.
Up until the first day that his son played ball for the LA Lakers, I understood it. I understood it. You are trying to get this kid, get his dollars up, got it. Once he got on the NBA floor, all attention shifted towards him. You put a target on his back. You put one hell of a target on his back by doing that. But I got it. I didn't agree with it, but I understood it. Now, I'm thinking, because I operate under common sense, that now that the NBA season has started, that we will be able to focus our attention on the product at hand. But no. You want to run your mouth, and you want to go here and fuck media, because media enabled it. He was on every fucking show you can name.
He was on Raw.
Right.
He was.
Right.
He was on
right.
Raw.
Right. He you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And meanwhile, these kids gotta deal with these targets that you built, and you ain't shooting in the gym. You might be at the gym, but you ain't shooting in the gym. And these kids are like, you're putting all their eggs in that basket. And I got the understanding that you want these kids to become professional athletes.
Right.
That's what you put it on. I still am under the impression that you are living vicariously through them.
Oh yeah, definitely. He didn't.
Right. There's no documented evidence. There's nobody coming forth saying you was the man. There's nobody from your hood signing off on you, co-signing that you was the man in any sport. This is all in your own mind. And as such, you have put these kids in a position to fail, to be quite honest. Maybe not, what's the one that's in the league? What's his name?
Lonzo,
I'm sorry. What's the father?
LeVar.
LeVar, excuse me. Lonzo, you put a target on Lonzo's back, but I think he'll be all right. Like, he's kind of, you know what I mean? But these other two who don't, through the experts, not through hating, through the experts, don't have the tools that this kid has. This kid is exceptional. They probably could have acquired in college, and to me, that's what I didn't like. You took him out of college because you really put all these eggs in the basket. And to me, the father that I am, my son's gonna do the college route because you're going to have a plan B. Because let's buy into his premise. Let's buy into LeVar's premise, in that all three of these are the next three greatest basketball players the history of the sport will ever see. One bad roll of the ankle, that's a wrap.
That's it.
Yeah.
One torn ACL, that's a wrap. One blown knee, that's a wrap. You know what I mean? So you're setting them up to fail. You're not giving them no plan B. You're doing this without a net. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think, just parent to parent, I don't think it's good parenting.
No, I feel
you know what I mean? And with the whole China incident, when LaQuisha, or whatever the other kid's name is.
They all begin with L.
Right.
Yeah.
So
That's all I
his
can
name
tell
is,
you.
When he had his press conference and he made a general apology. Sorry to everyone involved. And that was perfect. To me, that was perfect. And I was like, for once, the father did something right. And then the father goes on talking about, I ain't apologizing for shit. Now, to me, for this shot caller that you are, and that you got these kids on the thumb, and you oversee everything they do, it didn't make sense to me that you had the kids make this statement and then you make this statement. They don't match up. Yep. To me, if you know what I mean, if you're steering this ship, everybody's going towards the same destination. So whatever falls out my son's mouth is going to be echoed by me. It's going to be co-signed by me. And you're on some, well, my son apologized, but I ain't fucking apologizing to this nigga. Which was asinine in itself, because you are both the same nigga. Right. Neither one of you arrogant motherfuckers gonna apologize for shit. You know what I mean? And now, while I got what he was saying, as far as like, I'm not gonna kiss your ass with an apology, you're absolutely right. I'm not gonna kiss your ass with an apology. However, and I've said this on my podcast too, if this nigga was responsible for 3% of the 100% it took to get these kids out of this problem, yeah, you're gonna get a 3% apology. You're going to get some sort of recognition.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a small footnote. It's going to match the energy you put into it. You understand what I'm saying? Right. I'm not going to go overboard and, oh my God, he's the greatest. Where's my MAGA hat? Nope. Thank those the good folks, back home in the U.S. government that was able to. That's about as good as you're getting. Yeah. But I'm not going to not say nothing at all. But that's me. That's me. That's the type of person I am. If somebody had something, even if I don't get along with you, if you had something to do with some sort of progress and some milestone in my life, you helped me get through, thank you. That's it. I was raised to say thank you, so. So that's how I feel about fathers. But
Yeah.
not all, just them two.
But y'all went in. I mean, listen to that. I sat back laughing. Those who's listening and watching, y'all really need to subscribe to Eff Yo Podcast because that shit had me dying.
And Eff Yo Podcast is what you call it in front of your family. It's actually called Fuck Your Podcast.
Yeah.
It's actually called Fuck Your
I got
Podcast.
some fear.
We put FYP on it, but yeah, we call it Eff Yo Podcast just for general concerns. But it is, if you listen to the podcast, we say Fuck Your Podcast. You know what I mean? So like, and it's the podcast it's on hiatus right now, and it's just life kind of just stymied us for a minute, but we'll get back on things. But the way Fuck Your Podcast works to it has we have a lot of notes to hip hop in it. It has a side and a B side, like vinyl. We have original beats. We have original intro music in the beginning. Shout out to Craze Beats, 18 DJs. It comes from. It comes from the heart of it is hip hop,
Right.
You know what I mean, at its base, and I think a lot of my rants come from that place, and it's just a lot of in your face and unapologetic, and just like the term "fuck your podcast" came from just not wanting to follow the standard rules of a podcast, or what they say it takes to have a successful podcast. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? We just wanted to do the opposite of shit, and just as a way to say fuck you and your podcast. But we don't dislike anybody, so we don't want to seem like it's fuck your podcast. It's just
can't lie. I did kind of get that feel when you was when we exchanged information.
Yeah.
He was like, "Yo, I got a podcast. What's it called? Fuck your podcast." Like,
right, everybody takes that beat.
okay, hey,
right. If I'm, and it's funny because anytime I exchange those kind of information with people that have podcasts, they do take a beat. Like, what the fuck you trying to say? Hey, it's like, no, that's just the name of it. It's just fuck your podcast.
No,
you know what I mean?
clarified that. I was like, you know what? That's good.
Yeah, it is.
You know what?
Yep.
I was like, I gotta have.
If you're scrolling through your podcast,
you gotta have this dude. I was like,
right.
Gotta have that on.
If you're on Podbean, scroll through it. It comes up. If you see the FYP, click on it. You know what I mean? But
I downloaded.
And it's fun, man. It's fun. We got this time around, like we're adding because both of us kind of went in green. We really didn't know how to operate a podcast, how to record a podcast, how to format a podcast. We kind of just hit the record button and just took the e-brake off and just stared into the skid. Yep. And this is fucking, you know what I mean? But it's fun.
Same
as you know.
Same thing we do.
That's why I love this podcast because it's like with my family, I have like all the nerd stuff that we talked about, like the trailers we was just watching, which we still gotta get into.
Yes, we definitely gotta get to. Yes,
like I had nobody to get into, like nobody to talk to about this stuff. So it was like Tuesdays, I'm like, yo, I'm about to go in on this video game and all that. Because I'd be like, yo, I'm playing God of War. Huh?
Right. And
Empire was good last week.
But and I didn't start studying podcasts until we joined this thing. Yeah. Now I'm reaching out and listening to other podcasts and stuff. And it's just so cool how the art of conversation has gotten to this point.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's just an art of conversation, man. And it's gotten to the point where my wife and I are talking about it, and we're in the process of putting together a podcast for my wife and her friends.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? Right and on. It's all women. Mm-hmm. It's all women. It's it has it's called Menace to Sobriety.
I like that.
And it's about the premise is women day drinking and talking about the topics over day drinking. And my wife is the mediator. She will be the mediator in the podcast, but her role is bartender.
I can literally hear all her, I can hear her friends.
And her circle is
her circle. I love all you guys.
Right, and if you know her circle of the friends that she hangs out with, it's fucking perfect. Like it writes itself. They are quintessential black women.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
and they're intelligent, they're witty, they're insightful, they're emotional. You know what I mean? So we're just, we're trying to give that more structure than we can't just let that go. We can't just hit record and just let them go. We gotta kind of, because they're not accustomed to the art of conversation with mics in their face.
Right.
Mm-hmm. So we've got to put it in a format that kind of allows them to feel a little more relaxed. Because after 3 minutes of this, you forget it's there.
Yeah.
I do anyway. You know what I mean? Like if you're in, like, there's some podcasts where I remember it because it's not that engaging, and there's other podcasts where, you know what I mean? Like when you get engaged in this kind of situation, you forget everything that's around you. You know
that happens to me every week because I interrupt Victor so much on the regular. Victor wants to punch me at least 3 times an episode, maybe more.
Oh yeah, I keep a running tally in my head.
But I just get
Three is the average.
I get so caught up because I'm like, yo, I'm talking about shit that I like to talk about.
And that's
we
me.
get the mics and I'm just like, yo,
that's me.
And he goes, but this happened.
And that's me. The only thing about it, the only difference is EJ gets off on that shit, so he doesn't mind. Like he's the one that kind of sets the flame. You know what I mean? But I'm the same way. If I get I'm the same way. If there's something that engages me, I really start getting emotional and you know. But
and
yes,
and if they do a live podcast, they could do a live podcast at 148.
Right,
that might be
right. Well, she's the bartender. She's the bartender at 148. So like so like we've talked about stage setting and everything. You know what I mean? I'm like, that's something you could do live.
Yeah.
And book with a women audience.
Yeah, like shout outs to Lady Ruck. She does one now.
Right. Yeah,
and she has
her ladies lounge and she but and that's the thing, we don't like, so when it comes out we don't want it to look like another ladies lounge.
Right.
Like this Menace to Sobriety's got to read like Menace to Sobriety. Right. You know what I mean? So it's there's certain, you know, it's more structured as far as topics that will always be talked about.
Right.
You know what I mean? We got a couple of things on Eff Yo Podcast where we have the Cheese Grater Award. And the Cheese Grater Award goes out to people who we feel rise in the face of adversity, who show a quiet cool and rise to the occasion in face of adversity. You know what I mean? And the Cheese Grater Award came about because EJ's grandfather was the story that EJ tells us about he's at his grandparents' house, and he's from the South,
right?
And his grandmother says to his grandfather, next time you're in town, next time I go to town, remind me to buy a cheese grater. And his grandfather, without saying anything, got up and walked away and went in the garage and came back 20 minutes later with a handmade cheese grater. You feel me? Like that's episode 1. Like we talk about that in episode 1, and we was just, the rest of us was so amazed by it that we just kind of just hopped on that and was just, it became, you know, a statement about how generations have changed.
Yeah.
And how, like, you know what I mean, we, you know, how even me at 47, I didn't have that ingenuity. I didn't have that pluck. I didn't have that switch that goes, oh, I make you a fucking, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we definitely don't have.
And
us millennials don't.
Right.
I don't like to consider myself a millennial, but I was born in 84.
And in our first podcast, that was our whole thing, because millennials don't even think like this.
No.
You know what I mean? So the Cheese Grater Award, it was a fictitious award until he went back home to his grandparents and found a cheese grater. So now we got the prop. Nice. So now, like, you know what I mean?
The exact cheese grater?
The exact cheese grater. Yep.
Damn.
Yep. The exact cheese grater. I'll send you inbox you the picture.
Do it.
But yeah, and now it's because you know most awards are attached to a person now. So like it's the Marshawn Lynch Cheese Grater Award, because Marshawn Lynch is our favorite person, because he's just so fucking out there and he's unapologetic and like,
I'm just here so I won't get fined.
I'm just here so I won't get fucking fined, dude. And you know what I mean? And he's so, you know, everybody looks at him as this loud, boisterous Oakland nigga, and he's so much more. If you can just sit there and just read this dude for what he is, and not just listen to all the boisterous shit and really dig deeper into this shit, like the way he sends his fuck yous are so cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's just mad like what was it? Okay, there was this show that I used to watch on FX called The League.
Yep.
It was basically like
the fantasy football league.
Yeah, the fantasy football.
Yeah.
So of course everybody remembers when the Patriots won because Russell Wilson wanted to be the great light hope.
Right.
And throw the ball.
Right.
Instead of what they should have just did was handed it off to Marshawn Lynch.
Yeah, because Marshawn Lynch was the person that got him to the half-yard line.
Exactly.
Down before.
Exactly.
Whatever. But
and then so they were advertising the following season. They was just like, Yo, pass me the ball. No, I could just pass me the beer. No, I could just hand it to you. No, throw it to me. Pass me the beer. No, just hand it to me. Hand it to me. It's the right thing. He throws the ball anyway, and then the beer gets intercepted, and then Marshawn Lynch is sitting there in the beach chair like, should have just handed him the beer. Like mad nonchalant.
But the coolest shit, like Marshawn Lynch became our dude when he sat when they had the game in Mexico, and he sat for the American anthem and he stood for the Mexican anthem. Oh, wow! Fuck. And when they asked him about it, he said, "Man, I got a bunch of Mexican homies back in the hood. Those are my niggas. Like, I'm cool with them. I ain't cool with yo." And that was it. He been our dude ever since. And you know, of course, he don't know us, but that's our guy. So
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yep.
Marshawn Lynch cheese grater.
Great old boy. That's
I like that.
Yes,
I like that. So yeah, those 3 trailers that we watched.
Yes.
Yeah, man.
Before Black Klansman.
Listen, man. Jordan Peele and Spike Lee is the dopest collab since J and M. Like, whoa. That shit's gonna be crazy. Jordan Peele and what he did with Get Out has already established him. We know that what he's capable of.
Right.
Exactly.
Yep.
To go along with that, that underhanded sense of humor that Spike Lee has, because he brings it in such a way, he brings it in such a fashion. You know what I mean? That to the untrained eye, it's looked upon as malicious. It's looked upon as, oh my God, I can't believe it. And otherwise, like what's the Chirac? Folks lost their shit over Chirac.
Right.
I thought the premise was fucking brilliant.
That was
Brilliant.
I still have yet to watch.
That's
I
a
don't
good
have
movie.
Showtime.
Well, you understand what's the problem that's going on in Chicago,
Right?
And it's about that, and it's a very as per Spike Lee, very caricature. The characters take on a very characterish type of situation, but the plot twist is all the women of these gangsters that are having this war are just like, you know what? We're cutting motherfuckers off until you give up the guns.
Yeah, no peace.
Keep shooting.
No
peace, no
pussy.
pussy.
Yeah.
You did review
Son, that is brilliant. Like comedic, witty, smart. Like, come on, how are you hating on that? And folks lost their shit. But meanwhile, Madea Halloween comes out and
Oh Jesus.
you feel me?
Yeah.
You feel me? So
I haven't even seen.
but Black Klansman, man, that's one, like, you know, for most part, everybody's on the fire stick, so we get shit when we get shit, but that's one, that's to the movies.
Yeah.
That can't be a fire stick event. That's to the movies.
And it's based on a true story too.
And it's based on a true story.
Yeah.
How about that? That's what's dope.
Yeah, I'm interested to see it because that was John David Washington, the black guy with the fro.
Right.
Yeah, that's Denzel's son.
Right. Okay, I know that.
Yeah, so like
Okay.
him and Adam, I would not have thought to see like him and Adam Driver in a movie. Him and like what's his name in Ballers?
Oh, who
Ricky Jarrett and Kylo Ren
Yeah.
together. Oh, and Rick Foreman as a Klansman.
David Duke.
Son, Topher Grace, that 70s show, man.
Yeah.
Yo, Topher is underrated, man. In my opinion, Topher's an underrated cat, man.
Lost me with Spider-Man 3.
Oh, everyone makes mistakes.
That wasn't
man.
Topher's fault, though. That was just that was Topher's fault for accepting a fucked up script.
Okay.
How about that? You know what I mean?
Lost me with that.
Yeah, yeah. But otherwise, like, yeah, I like Topher Grace, man. I like his style.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. Predator, the new one coming out.
Not so much over the moon like Black Klansman, but based on the trailer, I am interested in
It caught my attention.
because the whole thing about how the kid has the mask and how all that, because that's what's unclear, how that connection gets made from him getting the mask and then Predator. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's like, but it's piqued my interest.
Yeah, I mean, it can only show you so much. You know that they're not
Right.
going to make that big mistake with Batman versus Superman, where we knew the whole story
Yeah.
Right.
before that. The only thing they didn't tell us was they stopped fighting because both their mamas just happened to have the same name.
Right. Right.
That
Right. Which was so shitty. It was so anticlimactic. Because and the beef was what 30 seconds.
Practically.
Yeah, it's a
4
short ass
hours.
beef.
I went to the movies. No, Rotten Tomatoes gave it 33%. I call it a 33% orphan fight.
Straight up.
And I was just like, you know what? I'm really gonna go see this. I'm actually gonna because I
Yeah, because I went
hate
to
to
see that. Me and my son went to see that. Me and my son went to see that at the IMAX.
Oh man.
And I was like, fuck, that's what we chose? That's what we chose? Yo, I was amped. I was souped on it. I didn't, like, you know what I mean? The premise.
That's a
Just
Five
the
Guys
premise,
burger right
the
there.
premise it sold me, man. Hook, line, and sinker. And I was like, fuck it, let's get it. Let's see it. Because I'm expecting, you know why I went to IMAX? Because I was expecting the fight of the century.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Why not watch a beef between these two motherfuckers go hard? But what? And then you blink, it's like a Tyson fight. You're like, what the fuck? What is this? You know what I mean? But,
you know what? That's probably the best comparison that I heard of that. That movie was a Tyson fight.
right.
Yeah.
It was in it.
Great hype.
But and not even so much a Tyson fight because nobody got knocked out. And it stopped.
Yeah.
Okay, it was Pacquiao and Mayweather.
Yeah. It was fucking Mayweather and McGregor. That's what it was without the knockout.
Yeah,
Fuck,
man.
they just stopped.
Mayweather and McGregor was. Okay, you see, did you watch Mayweather and McGregor?
On Instagram, yeah. Through
Right.
Trina's
Right.
Instagram.
I just saw the 7. I didn't. No.
That fight was
Yo.
button mashing, just pressing the same button over and over and over.
I can tell
Yeah.
you sometimes for an old head like me and social media and the internet, sometimes ignorance is bliss. And that was one of them times because I didn't see it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't know who Chigga is. The Chinese rapper. Chigga, white Chigga, black Chigga, something. Chigga. He listen.
I had never heard of him.
All these little what's the little white boy that had the guns and shit. He wasn't about shit.
Slim Jesus.
Slim Jesus. Don't know who he is. Don't know his music. Never heard his music.
I heard like
some of this shit. Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
I can say I've never heard any of Bad Baby shit. Like none. Like so. Sometimes ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, because that Tekashi 6ix9ine guy.
Oh my gosh.
Nothing.
There you go.
Nothing. I don't even know what he sounds like.
Yeah,
I don't
just-
even know. What
I only
he
hear
sounds
him run his mouth. I only hear him talk shit.
Just-
I have never heard him rap. Never.
Yeah, go watch his interview on the Breakfast Club. Try to go through 3 minutes of it without shutting it off. Yeah, it's.
I believe that. I believe that. That's
my,
terrible.
My brain just leaked out of my ears. I'm like,
Right.
why am I watching this?
Right. You got mad at yourself. I am wasting my life with this. This is 3 minutes I can't get back.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like Macho Man's rap album.
That exists.
Yeah,
It did.
I listened to the whole.
It
I think
did.
I have the whole thing
What?
on my computer.
Why? You spent money on that?
No, I downloaded it.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
no, he ripped that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I previewed it. 30 seconds of my life. I didn't.
Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley's rap. I heard his single because we did that on the podcast. You know what I mean?
Did you?
I've heard worse. I've heard worse. But this whole thing they're talking about, he's a rapper that just happens to play football. No.
No,
You're a football player.
You're a football player. who's-
You're a
who's
football
alright.
player with rich enough to have a studio.
Okay.
That's what you are. Like you're not. Stop it. Stop it. You stop it. Just stop it. And as a Cowboys fan, like it really fucking hurts. It's like shut it. We don't. It's a circus enough. We're already a circus.
He's already got the song.
Right. We're already a circus. Cowboys is that organization is already a circus.
Yep.
Don't make it worse.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
You shut
So,
your face. Okay, all right.
he ain't lying. He knows.
Yeah, I just
What's the other one? What's the?
Oh,
Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh, Rami
Yeah, I think
Malek.
we're all on that. I think we all
Like,
agree.
I did not expect Rami Malek
Yeah.
from Mr. Robot
Yeah,
to
man, is
that
that a leap?
much-
Is that a leap?
to look that much like him.
Like Freddie
I'm
Mercury.
not even worried about that. Like
Like-
just he looks like him, but it's one thing to look like him. It's one thing to embody that person's, and he is just based on that trailer. Like, yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
I am looking forward to that.
It's gonna be the Ray Charles movie of this decade.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
We might be looking at our next Best Actor Oscar winner.
listen.
I-
If the hype holds up to the trailer, absolutely. And I'm interested in seeing like how all the hits that I know came about. You know what I
exactly.
mean?
Like, cause okay. I'm young.
Yeah.
I love Bohemian Rhapsody because of Wayne's World.
Yep. I remember, but I didn't know what it was called until Wayne's World, but I knew the song.
Yeah.
Like I knew the song, you know what I mean?
Like that's a timeless record.
Right. I just didn't know what it was. I knew Queen sang it.
Yeah.
Just didn't know the name of the song. But and when I was younger, I knew it just because it was a popular song.
Right.
I appreciated it as I got older and understood music more because it's just a dope fucking song. It has so many different movements and emotions and like what, and I don't fully understand it. But just the way I enjoy the ride from start to finish is like when I first kind of appreciated it from a musical appreciation standpoint, like I was tired by the time I was done. Like it's very it's consuming.
Yeah, they said in the
mean?
trailer it was like 6 minutes long, but he's like, yo.
But it's not 6 minutes of boredom. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's not 6 minutes of boredom. It's 6 minutes of movements, of, like I said, movements and emotions, and just, wow, like how the fuck did you navigate that and not make it sound like a total train wreck? Because it sounds like this, like, you can rip that shit into like 3 separate songs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it all moves as this one cohesive piece, and it's like, wow. Like, fucking wow. And it says a lot because he's got the dumbed down radio shit. We will rock you.
Yeah.
Yep, that's it. You know what I mean? But then you got this shit, and you're like,
And he wrote it himself.
right.
Wrote it himself.
And right, and there's a piece in the trailer, and I think we can say this without giving anything away, where he's playing that part and he stops it, and he says to the man in the booth, "This is when the orchestra comes in."
Yeah.
And you had to, they was in it like, the what?
Yeah.
The orchestra?
The opera, yeah.
Like, nigga, we're a rock band. Yeah. You know what I mean? But apparently they trusted him, and here we are. I'm like, that
Still
fucking song
talking
is
to this
amazing,
song
dude.
To this day, like when Wayne's World came out, the song re-entered the charts.
Right, exactly. And you know, and that's where I got a whole new appreciation for it.
Yeah, and I think it'll go right back on the charts again when this movie comes out.
Right.
Yep.
Right. All of that. All of that shit. All of them bangers. All of them bangers will come back out and get a resurgence. You know what I mean? So
Can't wait for Deadpool 2 dude this weekend.
Yeah. Deadpool 2 this Friday. Yep. Friday, May 17th.
what's the did you like the trailers? What the trailers had? Like the
No,
trailers tell you?
yeah, because like I know like Cable's the antagonist. First of all, Josh Brolin playing Cable. Like I was when they first reported, I'm like,
that's what I'm worried about, because Josh Brolin in
Avengers?
No.
Oh.
Jonah Hex.
The Jonah Hex, yeah.
Jonah Hex
Yep.
murdered that shit. I liked it. I liked what he did for it.
Okay.
Because as a kid, Jonah Hex, I didn't have the comic, but it was in the paper. It was in the funny pages as a kid growing up. So I read Spider-Man. I read Jonah Hex in the papers.
Yeah.
Like that.
Now,
Did
you see Avengers Infinity War?
No. I am slacking on my movies.
Okay.
I'm
I'm just
slacking
gonna
on my
say,
movies.
well, we reviewed it 2 episodes ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Josh Brolin kills it.
Okay.
They're already talking about Thanos is the greatest villain of all time
In the MCU.
in movie history.
Okay, and not just because of what he can do, but how Josh portrayed the character.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yes.
no doubt. That's what's up.
So So Cable is an antagonist again. He's a villain
Right.
again, and I guess he's like coming to retrieve a mutant who's living this time.
I don't,
Something like that. I don't really know the whole premise. I really didn't even want it. I got like just enough. There's only one thing I'm pissed off about. Terry Crews is in it, but he's not playing Bishop.
oh, that's too bad.
Yeah.
He's playing another black mutant. It's probably dope. I don't know too much about it. He's one of the more lesser known ones, but I've been wanting him to play Bishop like
Well, I can see
forever.
that. Man, I can see
Like he
Bishop,
would have
absolutely.
nailed Bishop.
Yeah. For sure.
I think my second best is Better Train Rampage Jackson.
I want to see him in something different, but like I'm content with him because he did a good job at B.A. Baracus. He's a kid who grew up on 18.
Yeah.
I ain't got no issue with the way he portrayed B.A. Baracus. He was good. He was you know what I mean. I would like to think that Mr. T would have liked it too. You know what I mean. But Larry, Batista got it. Like Batista finds good vehicles for him as far as staying in the superhero realm and the action film realm. But I don't know if Rampage can make that leap. I don't know. I something tells me that it's A-Team and that's it.
You know, it's one thing I learned too, like a lot of Batista's lines that were in Infinity War, like the goofy stuff that he would done, was improvised.
Oh, really? Wow.
And that's saying a lot about Batista. I'm not sure like how much of a wrestling fan you are or was and all that.
No, I was hot body for a while. Yeah.
His personality ain't really that.
No, but that's what has made me enjoy him all the more.
Yeah,
because I wasn't expecting that when I seen Batista start getting film credits. I'm like, for what? Like all them WWE movies, I got it, I get it. Yeah. You know what I mean? But outside of that, like Batista, Rock, and John Cena, I fuck with him in movies. I fuck with him in movies. I
heard Blockers was good.
Right.
I heard Blockers was hilarious, and he actually was the one to steal the show.
When I first saw that trailer and I saw John Cena, I was like, why not? Why fucking not? Why not John Cena? You know what I mean? Like, that's cool. And because I think John Cena is funny. You know what I mean? I think he's got his moments. Like, he's funny to me like Peyton Manning's funny to me. Like they know they don't try too hard. They stay right in their lane. If I can equate them to a singer, they stay in their range.
Right.
They don't try to hit them high notes. They don't try to go too wacky or nothing. They stay right in the script and just, you know, I'm not tapping them for no awards. I'm just saying when I see him, and lately, the things that I see him in, I go, yep, I get it.
Okay, because that
you know what I mean?
What was that? That Amy Schumer movie, when he was that was actually a funny scene. He had like a sex scene with Amy Schumer.
Oh, Trainwreck.
That was it.
Yeah. That's the one with LeBron in it too, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, when he climaxed, he just yells triple fudge ice cream. And I'm like, that was funny.
Right.
Because it's John Cena.
Right.
Yeah. Right. It was funny because it's John Cena.
Because that's the thing with Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning gets it off just because he sells it. Whatever he's selling, he sells it as Peyton Manning.
Yeah.
And it just seems to fucking work.
Nationwide.
You know what I mean? All of it, man. All of it just seems to fucking work. Like, just the ESPN commercials. When he's walking through and they're taking a tour of ESPN and him and Eli's in the back fucking with each other and it follows him like, fuck this shit. And then he kicks him in the ass on the low and shit. Like, just, he picks and chooses his shit and it just works for me. I don't know.
All right, what's we got? Damn, it's 7:57. We still got to do question of the week.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right. Damn.
What's the question of the week, Carl?
Well, I'm trying to get to last week's. Okay, last week's question of the week was, who was your favorite film athlete? Mm-hmm. Okay, now, I said Earl Meggett from The Longest Yard.
Okay, and I meant to answer that too. I don't know how I got caught up with something. I think somebody called my phone, and then the bong resin just took over, and I just forgot. Favorite film athlete of all time.
And it can't be based on a true story.
No, it's got to be fictitious.
It's got to be fictitious.
That's what I figured.
Another of mine was Adonis Creed.
That's what I figured.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Rocky, but I was able to relate to Adonis more.
Moses Guthrie. Now, this is me dating myself, guys.
All right.
Low-dated film called Fish That Saved Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Moses Guthrie is played by Dr. J. Now, the premise of the story is this flailing pro team that sucks, and they're called the Pittsburgh Pisces, the Pittsburgh Pythons.
Right.
They get revamped because they have an open tryout, and some astrologist comes and tells them that their team would win the championship if they get a team full of Pisces. So they do an open tryouts for all these Pisces, and they get these cast of characters, and they keep the one player from the team who was actually played by Dr. J, which is Moses Guthrie. Does he do a great job at acting? Not at all. Is it a great film? Not at all. I was a great big Dr. J fan, and it was just cool to see Dr. J on film. I know it's a shitty reason, but it's one of my favorite. It's one of them favorite shitty movies.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I
Victor
mean?
has a list of them. I'm surprised nobody said Jesus Shuttlesworth, played by Ray
It
Allen.
was all right, but it was. He Got Game was cool, but it's not like. It's just cool to say Jesus Shuttlesworth. That's why I think most people choose that shit. It's just cool to say. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like if we want to talk about content, favorite film athlete of all time, Dennis Haysbert, Pedro Serrano, Major League.
Okay.
Major League. Okay.
I vaguely remember that movie. Okay,
Stick up
Charlie
for you-
Sheen was in
I
it
stick
too.
up for you, Jobu.
Yeah.
He prays to this little tiki statue.
Yeah.
He feeds him rum and cigars and shit. And he in the whole little subplot, he's got conflict with one of the pitchers on the team because he's a devout Christian. So they're going back and forth, and he's having a slump, and they're in the pennant, and they need a hit from him, and he's walking up to the plate, and he goes, Jobu, I stick up for you, I fight for you. And I don't hit no balls. This time, if you don't help me out, Jobu, I say, fuck you, Jobu. I do it myself. That fucking one of them sound bites just stays in my head. Or fucking Pedro Serrano, man, Dennis Haysbert, the fucking an insurance dude with the deep voice.
Oh yeah.
That's
yeah.
it, him. Pedro Serrano, yep.
Yeah, he,
Pedro Serrano's one of my favorite film athletes.
Yeah, so you said
Oh yeah, Randy the Ram Robinson in The Wrestler.
Oh!
Mickey
Yeah,
Rourke.
Mickey Rourke's performance.
Oh, yeah, Mickey Rourke, yeah. Wow.
Did you like that movie?
It was interesting. It was,
Yeah.
because it deals with the darker side of that shit, man. Know what made me think of? Jake the Snake.
Yeah.
Yes.
It made me think of
absolutely.
Jake the Snake.
Nailed it right out
did.
of the box.
It mirrored Jake the Snake because his fall from grace was public.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we watched, because I was still avid WWE at the time, WWF at the time, and so it was like, yeah, man, it was, yeah, whoa, yeah. I ain't mad at that. That's a good.
You know what? I never made that comparison until now. I thought it was just like a great story, but it really mirrors Jake the Snake.
It does.
Like hard body.
And not just and now knowing what we know now and the way that these lower tiers work, like TNA and Ring of Honor. You know what I mean? Where these guys they're too old to be with the WWE, so they start.
Yeah,
You know
they
what I
start
mean?
declining.
Farm teams and just and
indies,
it's all
yeah.
they know. They don't know no other way to make a buck, and so it's just like it was a darker side to it, man. It was an interesting movie, man. It wasn't what I expected when I watched it, but when I was done, I had no regrets.
No,
It
my
was
girl
like-
hated it simply because of the end. He just jumps off the top rope, and that was it. She's like, "Did he die?" I don't know.
Yeah, it was
Did
kind
he
of
live?
right. It mirrored the Sopranos ending.
Yeah.
Like you're just kind of left
And
in the air,
she
but-
just like
I didn't mind
she
it at all.
sat, watched the whole movie, was really into it until then. And she just completely shitted on the whole movie.
right.
I'm like,
listen,
yo, that movie was amazing. Like,
that's not bad at all.
so let me see. AWOL from a guest on the show,
yeah.
he said Airbud. But then he was like, nah. He says probably Rocky and the homie from Rookie of the Year.
Okay.
Thomas Ian Nichols. And on our Instagram, shout out to his other this wrestling podcast, the Jobber-Tears podcast. Did you listen to them?
Yeah, I saw one of
They
their
got a
videos.
dope setup where it's like they talk all wrestling, but it's set up like ESPN First Take or Undisputed.
Okay.
And they just debate, got a mediator and everything. It was very
that's dope.
interesting. Shout outs to them, though.
Yeah.
We was talking about them. We're going to be collaborating real soon.
That's what's up.
So he said Booby Miles or Willie Beeman.
Any given
I knew
Sunday.
somebody was going to say Willie Beeman.
Yeah. That's not bad.
Jessica Cushion says Dottie Henson from A League of Their Own.
Okay. Okay.
And John Aponic, our supervillain, we call him supervillain because we're Marvel fans.
Yeah.
He hates Marvel.
Does he hate Marvel or is he DC?
He's strictly DC.
Okay.
Yeah, he's strictly DC, but he makes excuses and claims that those movies are amazing.
Yeah.
DC misses more than the hits.
Yeah,
and don't get me wrong, I love DC, man, but man, like y'all miss more than you hit. Stop it. Stop it. It took you 8 tries to get Batman right. Like what the fuck, man? Because I grew up with Jack Nicholson. Do you know what I mean? Like all that shit came, and even then, like the cinematography was dope,
Right.
but the story itself and
In other words, the Joel Schumacher films, with Batman Forever with Val Kilmer and then George Clooney, which was, I'd probably say George Clooney was.
Yeah.
I still Schumacher did the first one. I don't think Schumacher did the
No,
first
the
one.
first two were the Michael Keaton ones were Tim Burton.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Those were. I still say Keaton was Batman.
Yeah. Like Keaton over Kilmer and them dudes, man, all day. You know what I mean? Yeah. But it still was. It was still like the original one, the Tim Burton one, reminded me of the '60s version. It had its parallels.
Yeah.
It was kind of wonky on that respect. You know what I mean? But like Heath Ledger, fuck you, Jack Nicholson. That's Joker.
Damn.
Fuck you. Fuck you, man.
And that's
Whoa,
a debate.
Man.
That's a debate. And I noticed
And
that
it
that's
shouldn't be.
that's a
And it shouldn't be.
generational
Yeah.
that's a generational thing. And shout outs to Reagan from Rock Hookers, my comic book plug. Like he was like, but it's cool to say that, but it's like there's still two different Jokers. They were portraying two different Jokers from two different stories. Just that we got
I'll defer to that because my lack of knowledge. I'll defer to that, but
we got with Jack Nicholson, we just got the villain Joker,
right?
You know, crime boss Joker. Whereas like this with Heath Ledger, we had post 9/11 terrorists. Joker.
You got a deeper Joker, man.
Yeah.
You got a
deeper.
To me, I say Heath Ledger because Heath Ledger, that Joker embodies what I believe the writers of DC meant for who the Joker is. To me, that would Jack Nicholson is the caricature. It's the more hanky. It's the more you know what I mean? Where don't get me wrong, Heath Ledger had the cackle, but he didn't lean on it. It was more of a crutch. It was more like of a catchphrase with Jack Nicholson. Heath Ledger just fuck, man. That he
became the Joker. He became.
It was every bit as dark for that Joker as it was for that Batman. They made Batman darker. Batman was more Batman now is more anti-hero, like he's supposed to be. Like he was, you know what I mean? And them Joel Schumacher and Tim Burton ones, he wasn't. It was strictly hero. You know what I mean? And at best, when they played his little dark side, was his on again, off again love affair with Catwoman. And even that was just, they touched on it, so it wasn't even much. But now, like they get, it's more character development. The character development is so much better. So much better. You know what I mean? The whole League of Shadows and all that. Like to me, it all comes together and it just makes for a more cohesive film series. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Yep.
So, but definitely Heath Ledger over Jack Nicholson all day.
So John Aponic says, Coach is the same thing, Mr. Miyagi from The Karate Kid.
Okay. I don't know if that's a film athlete, but I'll give it to Coach. I'll give it the nod.
All right, so this week's question of the week that I literally just thought of right now, since we got a comedian on our hands, all-time favorite comedy special.
Sitcom or comedy special stand-up?
Stand-up special. All-time favorite stand-up special.
If y'all want to weigh in, feel free. And you got to give me a minute with that because I've seen a few.
I got it's a tie. Chris Rock, Bring the Pain, and Bigger and Blacker.
Bigger and Blacker was my Bible. That was my Bible. Like
I'm not mad at either one of you. I'm not mad at either one of you. It ranks high. I don't know if it's my best, but it ranks high.
Yeah.
Fucking ranks high. Cause Bring the Pain that's the one with I ain't saying I agree with OJ, but I understand.
But I understand, yeah.
That was Chris Rock. That was Chris Rock tired of hearing where he stood on the tiers of black comics. Yeah. To me, that was on some fuck yous. I'm funny. And I'm gonna show you how funny I am. I'm not just a token black dude on SNL. and he put his fucking foot in that man.
The tossed salad, man. Like,
Whoa, like fucking whoa. Seriously, that is that's up there. Dave Chappelle killing him softly is up there with one of mine.
that was a good one.
It was just like that was like his coming out party. That was like
it was. That was to the point. Like I commit. This is why I say as a compliment to that special. My grandmother, who's been a pastor for
sure
60 years,
sure
she loves that special.
right
Uncut and all.
Wow.
right.
Like she loves it.
And it's got because it's got everything, man. It's got its insightfulness. It's got its wit. It's got its bathroom humor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's Chappelle.
It's
Chappelle.
Yeah, it's Chappelle. It's so Chappelle, and it's so dope to watch. And it's one of my favorites.
Still gotta watch that
all
last
time. It's gonna be It's gonna be Rich, and it's just because it's just
He's the GOAT.
yeah, man. Because he
the God.
just he touched so much shit is relevant to this day. And like I said earlier in the show, when you know how much of it that I know, and then you watch other comedians do shit that's relative to his shit, it reminds you the impact, and it just like he was so far ahead of his fucking time. Like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Live on Sunset Strip or live in concert. It's gonna be one of those two.
Mudbone.
Okay.
Because Mudbone has a lot to do with it.
Good.
Mudbone has a lot to do with it. But it all right, how about this? You've seen Kings of Comedy.
Yeah.
Ranks high as well. But said the entertainer, and he makes a little comment, seats 4 and 5, player 4 and 5. Let's go back to Live on the Sunset Strip.
All right.
So he gets out there. He's going through his shit, and he's talking about the black people, white people shit, and he's like, "Yeah, white folks showed up here early. This, that, and the third." He goes, "I love the look on white people's faces when they come back from the bathroom and find out niggas done took their seat." and they were like, "No, we were sitting right here, right?" You know what I mean? So it's like it's not 4 and 5, but just to make my point. You know what I mean? Like
it still came back.
It still comes back. It's still from this fucking big pot of comedy gumbo that just fucking genius made.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And everybody just took their little pieces from it and built themselves. Every black comedian that says they ain't got a piece of Richard them is a fucking liar. It's a goddamn liar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Hands down.
But he was, he spawned that whole dynamic of black and white relations. It's at a point now where I, as a comic, when I decided to make the leap, I made sure that wasn't going to be my thing, because it's done to death now. Right. To me, I look at stuff like BET Comedy Jam and stuff like that, and that's all it is a bunch of black people do it like this and white people do it like that, and it cheapens black comics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And there's some really intelligent black comics out there that I'm gonna give a couple of names you guys should look up: Sam J, Langston Kerman, Jasper Red. These are Hannibal Buress.
Yeah.
They're smart comics. They're not step and fetch comics. They're not jigaboo comics. And I'm not trying to downplay nobody on that shit, but to me, it's easy. It's the easy way out. You know what I mean? I want a thought-provoking comic. I like comics that make me laugh 10 seconds after. And laugh hard, you know what I mean? But like that's what I'm saying. So definitely, if I have to pick between the two, I would say Live on the Sunset Strip, because it was. I think it was his magnum opus. It was where he was really in his shit. He talks about being burnt up because he had got burnt up before then.
Yeah.
That whole thing with that. So all that comes into play. All of that, and it's just a fucking ride, man. It's one hell of a ride. And he talks about the illest shit. He talks about shit that you know he was high when he came up with.
Yeah, and
He talks about insightful shit. He talks about off the wall shit. You know what I mean? He talks about the two Malamutes that he had, the two dogs that he had. Malamutes, a pretty big breed. And they're talking about going across, thinking about fucking a dog across the way. And it's this conversation that the two Malamutes are just having. You know what I mean? And like a conversation between fucking Malamutes. You know what I mean? It's a high ass fucking concept, but funny as fuck as he lays it out. You know what I mean? Shit like that. Like it just and his cadence, his delivery, his. I am a fan of shit talkers. If you can talk shit, man, I'll listen to you talk shit. Even if you're full of shit. I just like the art of shit talking. And he can talk that shit, man. You know what I mean? The way he his early workings, I became a fan of because he painted the landscape. He painted the urban landscape. He painted the black landscape. Right. He brought you into his neighborhood, and you met his characters. Because while Mudbone was a developed character, there were characters that were placed in, if only for a moment, just to convey the joke. But there were folks that, like, he does a bit about how, how black folks that he grew up with, now that he's doing his shit, they come at him funny, but want to ask him for shit. You know what I mean? Yeah. And the way he goes, he's like, oh, man, I remember when you were saying that shit down at the pool. That's the same shit you were saying back in the day. Let me get $1. You know what I mean? So it's like, it's just that that person. You know that ornery fucking that got a nerve to dish you and then ask you for money right afterwards. You know what I mean? So it's like it's all these composites of all these people in your area, in your neighborhood, in your community that you know, and he just brings them to light in funny ways, and it's just wow, like fucking wow. You know
now,
what I mean?
did you see his son bomb on Showtime at the Apollo like a month or two ago?
Richard Pryor's son?
Yeah.
Oh my God, no! I would have stopped him. Like I wouldn't do it. If I was Richard Pryor's son, I wouldn't be a comedian. I wouldn't. That's man. Ooh no.
Yeah, he was his young. It's his youngest son.
Shoes to fill, B.
Yeah, impossible shoes to fill.
I'll paint a picture.
Take a picture out of Tony Rock's page. Tony Rock is successful, but he ain't Chris.
No.
God damn, and he's not Chris. You know
and
what I mean?
he knows he's not Chris.
And he knows he's not. You know what I mean? So like, for you to want to follow Rich.
Yeah, and first of all, here's where he messed up. I'll paint a quick picture of you,
sure.
And then after I'll show you the YouTube because it was bad.
Yeah.
So Steve Harvey introduces him. What's the first thing? He looks just like his father.
Does he?
Yeah, okay. Spitting image.
Afro and all.
Oh.
He has an afro. The first thing he says, "Hello."
And then,
he really tried to talk like his father. And this is the Apollo.
Yeah. They're gonna give it to you.
And they gave it to him. It's like so.
And I had a feeling that's what you was gonna say, because that's the word. And that was my immediate thing. Like when I say no, I'm saying no because you're either gonna come out trying to be like him.
Yeah.
You're gonna fail miserably. Because it's harder to try and be your own, but is his name Richard?
Nah, it's like Terrell.
I think it's Miles Pryor.
Terrell Pryor played football.
Football, yeah. Damn. We'll probably.
But either way, it's not Richard.
It's not Richard.
It's Pryor.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So you know what I mean? It's. I like, and that's just like again, it's just me. I would have never.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Bad.
Yeah.
It was bad. Like Steve Harvey had to be like, he had to come out and talk to the crowd, be like, listen, it's because of his father I'm doing what I'm doing now. Let's just give him a second, try him out. So then he came back out. He kind of redeemed himself, but at that time, it was too late.
They gave him courtesy laughs, and Apollo doesn't do courtesy laughs.
Right, exactly. Like they got chastised. That's where the courtesy laugh. Like, Steve chastised him, and exactly. So, and to me, it's just too much. It's too much weight on you for even to go down that route, man. Like, you know what? And if you're gonna do it, you don't make your debut on Apollo.
No.
You work them. You work them fucking rooms, man.
Those rooms,
you
those nightclubs.
You call Uncle Paul Mooney. You look. You know what I mean? Like you sit in Because that's my thing. I'm surprised that Paul Mooney didn't call him and be like, look, nigga, if you're gonna do this, don't sound like your father.
Don't.
You got it. You have to be your own voice.
You do.
You can't mimic the voice of a cultural icon.
Exactly. Same with Charlie Murphy.
Right.
And he became a big. I'm not gonna say a bigger star, but he became
A star in his own right.
Yeah.
He became a star in his own right.
He was no longer. Yeah, everybody knew he was Eddie Murphy's brother.
Right.
But at the same time, he was still Charlie Murphy.
But also, Eddie made no qualms about telling people that, yo, Charlie's funny.
Right.
Like, I got in it because of Charlie. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
he'll be the one quick to tell you, like, Charlie's the motherfucking funny dude. I got in it because I wanted to be like Charlie. You know what I mean? That was his whole thing. You know what I mean? Yeah. But again, like, to your point, they made their own way. That right there, as soon as you say hello,
that was it.
Right.
Like I said, it was bad.
Right.
It was bad.
Right. And right. Like, you guys watched it together?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You heard that. I know you just heard that hello and you just went, no. Right.
Like, I heard it on. I heard them mention it on a podcast, so I was like, pause.
Right.
YouTube.
Got it.
And then I looked at it, I was like, damn.
Yep. You're just like, fuck. And there's nothing you can do about it.
Nope.
You're like, damn, man. But
Nope.
Yeah.
Oh, man. We running we going over, man. Bad lad.
don't feel bad.
Pleasure.
I've that's my other superpower. I do this at every podcast I go to. Nobody's podcast ends at the time they want it to. It always ends later.
It just is
Hey,
what
that's
it is.
all right.
What we do? We watch SmackDown, right? So
Yeah.
we kind of know what's going on.
We'll be all right.
Okay. Oh, that's right. It's Tuesday. Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yep.
But again, man, thank you so much for joining us on our show.
Man, thank you for
man.
having me. I had a ball, man. I had a great time, man. Talked about a lot of things. I'll be honest. A lot of stuff we talked about, I haven't talked about in any other podcasts I've been interviewed in.
Oh, wow. Right
So,
on.
yeah. So you guys are, I like it. I like where you guys are going for it, going with it. I like it's formatted, but it's not formatted. You guys, man, you do your homework, man. I like it. That's what it is, man. You guys, I don't do homework. I talk shit, and a lot of times I might be wrong as fuck. I'm just loud, so that nobody ever tells me I'm wrong.
Oh man, yo, so you got any dates and stuff?
Absolutely.
Let us know.
This weekend, Friday, I am at the Comedy Connection, East Providence, right off the Warren Ave exit. For those of you who are afraid to go in East Providence, it's literally off the exit. Literally, and that is, I always get the skin knee. That is actually a bit of mine. That is actually a bit of mine. When I tell people I'm at EP, they always give me the skin knee. They go, EP, cuz?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I am there for the hardcore show. It's the 10:30 show. Come through. It's I am alongside other local comics who are funny as hell. It's a good way to listen to some local comics who are good at what they do. That is this Friday at the Comedy Connection, 10:30 show, hardcore show. And then Saturday, I am at Tuggers, Tugas, Tuggers, Bar and Grill in Pawtucket. And I will be opening for Dale Culver. Dale Culver, shouts to Dale Culver, What the Deal Dale podcast. I'm opening for him. And I will also be performing alongside another good comic friend of mine, Derek Fonseca. That is this weekend. I will be back with the Laugh Outside Lounge, which is my monthly comedy show at Bar 148 outside in the patio. And be on the lookout for the revamped Fuck Your Podcast with myself, EJ Edmonds, a couple of my Middle Ages Media Group folk. Yes, that is the name of the group, Middle Ages Media, because there's a bunch of old motherfuckers. We make no qualms about who we are. You know, we embrace the oldness. You know, they're starting to send me AARP notices. So I know it's coming. I know it's coming. It's cool. You know, but either way,
those
man,
come with discounts. You better.
Absolutely. My wife is old. My wife is already getting them. So I'm like, yo, you need to sign up, and so we can start going to Denny's and going ham. You know what I mean? But you know. Sometimes she finds it funny. Sometimes she's like, "Fuck you, I ain't that old." But whatever.
Yeah. Where else can we find you though?
Lad Dennis-Lopes. You catch me, Bad Lad the Comic. All social media formats for which for me is Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Okay.
My personal page is Lad Dennis-Lopes, but I'm trying to draw more traffic to my Bad Lad page. So it is Bad Lad the Comic, Facebook, Bad Lad the Comic, Instagram, and Twitter. And other than that, at the Providence School Department, what I usually do because I teach, and So yeah, I'm either teaching your kids the wrong shit.
Word.
Oh, damn.
And I'm June 1st. I'm at the Firefighters Lounge. I'm headlining at a Funny for Fun show. Shout out to Bill Simons and Mike Murray. They're the two comics who have this business where what they do is they throw comedy shows and raise funds for nonprofit organizations.
Okay.
Nice. Now, is there going to be another comedy and politics show coming up? Because I keep missing them and I'm
Absolutely,
pissed.
there will be. I'm just waiting on the date from Kobe. Shout out to Kobe Dennis.
Shout out my cousin Kobe.
My cousin
He's
Kobe.
going to be on the show soon.
Yep. Good. He is for those of you who have been following the campaign, please, if you feel as though he has a shot, make sure you get out and vote, because none of this works unless you get to the polls and you get folks informed and get them to the polls. He doesn't have a lot of he doesn't have the campaign dollars that the incumbent has, but the incumbent isn't really doing the best job right now either.
Yeah.
Seems like he's taking a lot of vacations and making some deals with folks that like to sell cameras and put them in front of high schools, and so there's something to be said about negative publicity. So don't think that his lack of campaign dollars gets him out of the race. He's got a strong grassroots campaign. He's got a strong team and point people that are working tirelessly to get him to that point. So yeah, man, I'll be at the next Comedy and Politics whenever that is. But other than that, those are my soon dates. Oh, at Art Bar, that's on the hosting end. I do that the first Friday of every month.
For the funk of it.
For the funk of it,
Shout
yeah.
out to
Shout out to
Donnie
Donnie
Battle.
Battle, Spike Towel, Buck, Snap, the whole team. That is that's the fun stuff. That's the stuff I can do with my eyes closed.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? The comedy, I gotta
And
set
at
in.
148.
And 148 with Jay Scratch, we're alongside my man Stockton Malone. That's what we do. Yeah, the whole stuff is easy. I do that with my eyes closed. I'm trying to get on BRU. I went through the rigmarole. I went through the protocol. I filled out the application. They're not calling me. I don't know why. I've been on BRU before. I had my own show for 2 years. It's not like I'm new to this. It's not like you have new equipment. It's the same equipment. I don't need the training. It's the same equipment from 09.
Oh, man.
But that's what I'm doing, man.
All right, thanks again for joining
Guys,
us.
thank you, man.
You can follow us on all ends of social media.
Codex Prime Podcast, man.
Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. You can catch our episodes on YouTube, iTunes. Leave us a 5-star review. SoundCloud. We about to get on our Podbean, man.
We was on SoundCloud. Like EJ took care of the Podbean. I signed us up to SoundCloud, and I could only put after episode 5. It wouldn't let me add any more.
Yeah, you got to pay for the service.
Yeah, SoundCloud Pro. You can do unlimited with that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
Yep.
Thanks for helping up an old man, and not making me feel that old. I've been on some podcasts where the millennials make me feel old, man, and make me feel ashamed of being old. You guys was like, all right, it's all right, guys.
Appreciate it. Listen,
Yeah.
we learned something.
Well, I
we had
appreciate
laughs,
it.
but we learned. So
You kept the drool off my chin, which is pretty cool.
All right.
Kept me from nodding off. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I appreciate it, guys.
all right.
man.
So yeah, that's it.
All right, man. Peace out,
All right, man.
nerds.
Holla at y'all.